With your bad self, Rattlers. With your bad self. Rattler Nation, y'all bad people. Y'all bad people.
Yes, y'all are. Yes, y'all are, boy. I tell you what. Hello. Hello. Welcome to another episode of the O&G StrikeZone. Brian Fulford, Marcus Green, Kelvin Rozier. Just three Rattlers on the mic, and every time we rock the mic, we try to rock the mic. Yes, sir. Hey, wow. We're so thankful to everyone who has kind of consumed the content over the last few episodes, especially heading into the start of the new year. And it's what a year it's already been, folks. What a year it has already been.
It's been a year and a month. 1 month. We had a whole year.
17 days. I mean, we got people that have gone gray, lost sleep. No one's lost a job, but it's people have lost the stress. It's real, man. It is real, and so we're gonna try to unpack it all. First off, let me start by saying hello, Marcus. Hello, Kelvin. How are you? How are you brothers feeling? How are you doing?
Doing all right. Little
that Excel.
Y'all didn't see me the memo. Y'all didn't see me the memo with the hat.
Oh, you know what? I just saw Kelvin. I didn't even see it. Come on now.
It was just last minute. I saw Brian with it, and this is a time where when we got people who not supporting the players, we want to I wanted to visually show my support, not just talk about it. So we got the Jalen Glaze hats, man. Y'all go get the people in Tallahassee. Y'all go get them Jalen Glaze dozens.
Let me ask you this, and I've been thinking about this for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
With the Jalen Glaze dozen, can you order them online or call in?
That's a great thing.
I'd like to sponsor a couple dozen for like a.
Sure, I'll pick it up. I'll pick it up. I'll pick it up for you. I'm local.
Okay.
Hey, Kelvin said he'll pick them up and send them. He'll take them, pass them out at work.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would recommend doing. Send it to
or
somebody.
Even if it's a teacher's work day for like a school, like I don't know, like DRS or Rickards.
Hey, we call Coach Cromartie over at FAMU High. We're like, Coach Cromartie.
She's trying to get them, and she's getting them in game shape. I don't know if she wanted me eating Krispy Kreme.
She ain't got to give them to the players, Marcus. You just talking about the teachers. You don't want to give them to the girls. Give them to the staff, the teaching staff over at FAMU DRS, FAMU High. Whatever. Right. What is it, DRS or FAMU High these days? It's both. I don't know.
It's both.
It's officially DRS, but you would never hear me call it DRS. It's the high.
That's right.
Exactly. Want to thank everybody for watching, picking us up on Facebook and on YouTube. If you're watching us on Facebook, you're probably watching us either on at O&G StrikeZone or possibly the Black College Sports Network. We are part of the Black College Sports Network on the Jericho Broadcast Networks, which is where majority of you are probably picking us up on YouTube, or maybe you're picking us up on our own YouTube channel. We appreciate you. Also, we are streaming on X, Twitter. Matter of fact, I need to make sure I send out the tweet from my own account, which I often sometimes fail to do, to make
Instagram.
Sure.
If you
and officially on Instagram. Exactly. We are on Instagram. So we're just trying to put the show in more places, man. Put places in more places.
Give the people what they want. I want to say while you're doing that, man, that we get a lot of love at those basketball games. And I want to thank everybody who come up to me and and let us know that they watch the show and that they value what the content that we're putting out. It means a lot because we do it for you all. And so they get that feedback, that positive reinforcement, those folks like the Ellises, hey baby, you keep on talking. Y'all keep on talking. And got a chance to meet Demetra. This
Okay.
game. It was great. She came and introduced herself and got to meet her, and then the normal crew that's kind of around us, man. It was awesome. And yes, please, whenever you see us out, please come let us know you watch the show, and we'll be sure to shout you out too.
Yeah, definitely. That's what's up. Appreciate everybody tuning in. And look, the one thing that we are unapologetically about Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. Unapologetically. I will never apologize, especially in these rotten Twitter streets. I don't care. I don't know if I know you, love you, work with you, have worked with you, aspire to be like you. I won't apologize for my feelings about FAMU when I see things that ain't right. Now, sometimes I may laugh and joke at the messiness, but sometimes you got to laugh to keep from crying because it's hurtful. Some of this stuff is real hurtful. So with that said, Keith said, where's the belt at? Well, look, Keith, we don't have to pull no belts out today. There's a few board members who pulled out some belts yesterday. Shout out to the Board of Trustees. We're going to get into talking about that Board of Trustees meeting yesterday, first off. But let me also set the scene for this show because we always do talk about FAMU athletics. At first, we talk about FAMU athletics and culture. And yes, football is on our mind. And the search for the 19th coach is on our mind. But I saw that. Yeah, you're right, Demetra. Well, look, see, Demetra, look. See, it be your own kind. It be your look. Don't ever say it be the men. It be the women that know right. Go on, Demetra. You get the system. Look, it ain't us. Y'all. Sometimes if a man say it hit kind of different to some folks. But anyway, we will get into talking about our upcoming 2024 softball season. We got Coach P. Camise Patterson coming up at the top of hour 2. We are probably maybe 3 weeks away from the start of the season. So we look forward to talking to her. And then coming up, we're going to talk to Vaughn Wilson again. We love having Vaughn on the show. He's got an op-ed piece that he just recently released, and we will talk with him about that. All right, let me do a quick roll call. You know how we like to do on the Strike Zone and just get our people a quick shout out. So don't let me go longer than a few minutes here because I want us to get into the topic. So I'm gonna put me on a 3-minute timer, Marcus, just like the Board of Trustees. So we're gonna do 3 minutes of shout outs here, and then you got the alarm set. Let me know, Marcus.
Give me a second.
All right, we're gonna everything in 3-minute segments here.
All right.
All right, here we go. Let's go to our first one. You ready, Marcus?
Yep.
All right, here we go. Boom, right off the bat. First one in the door.
What's up, Bull?
Coming in, right out there. Let's go. We appreciate you jumping in. Alex
Ken.
checking in.
That's Ken.
Oh, that's Ken?
Yeah.
Okay, going on another account. We got you, Ken. All right.
Using the wife account.
I see how you are, Ken. There you go.
Sneaker.
Jimmy Mack, appreciate you coming in. It always is a good day to be a Rattler.
What's up, J Mac?
Always a good. Checking in, Melissa Wilson.
There
you go. Just had to make sure you were on point there. Montre Bennett, good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
What's
Exactly.
Up,
Can't deny the championship. Sam Dixie, good to see you, brother.
What's up, Sam?
Yep. Appreciate you again, Demetra. Hey, there you are. Tamara T, appreciate you coming in. Always appreciate your support of Jericho Broadcast Networks by being a member You too can go join, be a part of the Black College Sports Network and Jericho Broadcast Networks. Go join our JBN channel. Ashton Harris,
What's
up,
up,
Ashton?
Ashton?
Stay strong, Ashton. I know these last couple weeks have been trying on your nerves, but stay strong, brother. Stay strong. Stay strong. Marcus, how we doing, Marcus? Good to see you checking in.
What's up, Marcus?
Chuck Hunt checking in from Monroe, Louisiana. Good to see you, Chuck.
He ain't in Monroe.
Huh? He ain't in Monroe?
He ain't in Monroe.
Well, it still sounds good to say. Hey, Steve Campbell, Mr. Campbell, good to see you, brother. Hey, dropping some
What's
knowledge there on
What's up, Coach?
Hey, yes, exactly. Coach, pastor,
What you coach, Coach?
knowledge. He coaching knowledge, boy. Coaching knowledge.
Yeah,
boy.
I see him. I see him. He on a tour and stuff.
Hey, that was some good stuff.
We probably can't afford to book him on our show.
I know, man. We might have to come in with a extra sponsorship package to get Mr. Campbell on the show. James Austin.
What's up, James?
What if the search committee make Coach Simmons an offer he can't refuse? Well, that's an interesting thought. That had to be a hell of an offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's coming up with that money? They probably would have already shown themselves, right? B Starks, good evening. How you doing?
What's up, B Starks?
All right. Well, A&T Roy.
What's up? Don't start no one be none, but thank you for being on.
Hey, look, some of us got other daytime jobs. We'd love to be able to do these daytime shows like some of our brethren in the HBCU diaspora, man. But we got to come in and do what we can when we can.
Hey, day jobs and families.
There you go. There you
minutes
go.
up.
All right, last one here. Mac Webb, good to see you in there. Jay Stokes, Ian West, got you checking in. All right. Let's see. What did you started this from Jay Stokes, Marcus?
Oh yes, I did.
Okay. All right.
Because that was a point talked about in other circles.
Okay. All right. Well, let's jump right into it. I put out a tweet, and I wish I could. Doggone it! Can I pull up a tweet? Let me see if I can find it. I put up a tweet before the board meeting, right? And I asked the question. Let me see if I can find it here, because I've fired off a bunch of tweets since then, including all the retweets from Gerald and Allison. Appreciate Gerald and Allison for being great live in-game tweeters. Appreciate Scotty over at Off Script for making the Board of Trustees available to more than 500 people.
HBC Game Day, Vaughn.
Game Day, yep. I didn't know if they had posted it live or not. Okay,
they did.
So props to all those people who put it out there. Okay, I posted a tweet before the board that morning, and I said, what do you think our VPIA, which is Vice President of Intercollegiate Athletics, for those of you who don't know, that is the official title, will do at this afternoon's Board of Trustees meeting? The choices were hire James Colsey, hire Ryan Smith, hire Billy Roll, or go with a new choice. Now, of the votes, 43% said hire James Colsey. Okay. Just curiously, now, originally, I almost said go left. Fellas, I almost said go left. But I said, I want to be fair, and I'm not going to use the go left. So I just said, let me put in here, go with a new choice. 18.4% said that. We were all wrong, because I don't think in my wildest imaginations of what would come out of that Board of Trustees meeting would we end up with a search committee. I really didn't. I really didn't think that. And as I tweeted out, if you thought that there was going to be a search committee.
No. Before the committee, a search firm.
Okay. Thank you. If you thought it was going to be a search firm, and search committee. If you had either one of those, I was basically saying, go play the lottery because your ass might win something. If you thought, you might actually win something if you go play the lottery. If that is what you actually thought was, I didn't hear anybody offer that as an option or even a thought. So Kelvin, let's go to takeaways. And I know I got some takeaways. Marcus, you probably got some takeaways. So let's kind of go through 3 big takeaways from the Board of Trustees, that whole thing.
First, I got to shout out Dakar for the catfish comment. It's an inside joke, but yeah, we got catfish. we got catfish for sure. So, takeaway number 1: there's an obvious disconnect with the AD and the president and their constituents and the larger constituency. And I'm talking the rest of the Board of Trustees. I'm talking the team. I'm talking the Rattler Nation at large, the DSOs. Everybody had the same comment: lack of communication and a lack of respect for the culture. I'm gonna expound on that just quickly, right? So I saw where the new AD that was hired at Ohio State, came out with an article today. They hired a guy. He was at Texas A&M, and Gene Smith is a legend and been at Ohio State. I don't know. I know 30 plus years, probably 40 plus years. Ohio State guy, but he's been there forever. A brother. So he's retiring. And I just want to read this comment that the new AD said coming in the door. And it's just a real quick paragraph. I don't have to bring any core values to this job, Bork said. They are already well established. I always said athletics may not be the most important thing on campus, but we're the most visible. This is a public trust. This program belongs to the people in the state of Ohio. My friend, that is leadership that gets it. When you walk into a winning situation, a championship situation, a culture, you better understand who it belongs to. We wouldn't be here if the president and the AD understood who this program belongs to. It belongs to those players. It belongs to the coaches, the DSOs, and the Rattler Nation at large. And that is missing. And which leads me to my second takeaway. My second takeaway is it doesn't seem like that they are interested in righting this wrong. There's no way it should have been a committee or a search firm. It shouldn't have been a doubling down. It should have been, okay, we getting spanked right now. Several trustees spanked them. Some players spanked them. Some of the DSO leagues spanked them. It was really, again, another a way to reverse course and start to try to repair. If you had the spirit, the right proper spirit, to try to repair some of those relationships that you kind of severed with this process. But it appears obviously that they're not interested in internal candidates. Cause why in the hell would you pay $20,000 to $50,000 for a search firm to hire somebody you got on staff already? So it's real clear that there's a doubling down there, and we're gonna see how it play out. Cause I know I got my money on Rattler Nation. Rattler Nation ain't going nowhere. All right. My last takeaway is there's a lack of understanding in terms of the value of athletics and what championship athletics entails. And that goes from maintaining your championship coaching staff, your head coach first, but your staff, your players, not understanding the timeline and the sense of urgency that this requires, not understanding the importance of repairing fractured relationships with your farm raising arm, because frankly, the president and the AD ain't raised no money for athletics. So you would think it's important to them to, and so the whole concept of a committee and having these people on these committee and so forth, I will point out to you when this AD was hired, just this one, and I'm gonna talk about the ones before real quick too. But when this AD was hired, there was an 18-member committee. I see the booster president. I see, SGA represented. I see the 220 club president. So the F club. I mean, I see some of the same folks a part of this committee. And just frankly, and rightfully so, we were very critical of that damn committee and that process. And so this process gives me no confidence, any more confidence than that committee gave me. However, the one thing I will say is that I do have confidence in the chair of that committee. And I'm hoping that the committee as a whole, as well as the AD, I hope they work together, because this is already messy and it doesn't look good, but it can get a lot messier and it can look a lot worse. And that's what I do not want. I just want to have an opportunity to maintain our coaches and run it back like everybody else say. And when everybody's saying it, the AD and the president need to get on board. Bottom line. And I'll leave it at there for now.
Well said. Marcus, what are your takeaways?
I guess first, I didn't get a chance to watch the committee meeting yesterday. But I guess questions that came up for me last night, having read some summaries, I think I caught the end of HBCU game day. So I caught a summary from Vaughn and I watched a little bit of HBCU sports. The two things that stuck out to me, and I read somewhere, and I don't know how true it is, but I guess it was made mention that the candidate who's now back at Fort Valley, the candidate who was recommended was communicated to President Robinson and apparently, I guess, the lead of the BOT.
The chair.
So those two people. And I don't know, I read something else today that said that perhaps a few other people on the BOT were made aware and then everything all got released. So I don't know about how much that happened. But the question that popped in my mind was that, given the benefit of the doubt, we don't know all the things going on in the background. If VP AD Sykes did not make the other stakeholders, the other DSOs who are stakeholders, at least representing major stakeholding entities, if she didn't communicate directly with them, why didn't the BOT chair or President Robinson advise them like, hey, you need to run this by them and make sure you got buy-in by anybody who can derail this process? Why didn't they give her guidance?
Good point.
If she didn't know, or if she was unaware? And I'm giving, I want to say benefit of the doubt because I don't have anything against VP AD Sykes, and I always thought she was, even watching her career from afar before she even became a candidate, I thought she had potential. So, and I'm saying that as there was a failing from two people who are in a mentorship and advisory capacity in terms of giving her direction. Now, if they did give her direction and she didn't do it, well, then that's another story. But I would expect, from that type of leadership position that you made aware. But President Robinson has been, and I want to look at your timeline, Brian, and I'm sorry I haven't, and I know you constructed a timeline of different things, but I'd like to see an overlap of the last other times when President Robinson has been interim and permanent and the ADs that go on. But he's been through the process enough to know that there's some other key stakeholders who aren't in the direct line of reporting in the FAMU administration that probably need to be made aware of. And it sounds like he and the BOT chair failed to do that. So that was one takeaway that I thought about last night.
Okay.
The other thing, and I've seen it in multiple places here and other Stephen Campbell's situation in the pit and other places, what prevailing reason has been given for looking for an external candidate?
Mm-hmm.
There's no, I don't want to call it smoking gun, but if you're going to look outside, what is it that she has seen in the last year, either from the individual personnel or how the program is run or what she's interpreted as something that needs to be fixed by someone who's outside of the current FAMU circle? And that's one thing I don't know if it will ever get shared in truth and completeness. But there's something that she's seeing or she's feeling lacking that she would recommend an external candidate who has no ties to the university to come in and manage a championship level football program. And we talked about this last week. This is already going to be a difficult situation because it's FAMU. I mean, we couldn't have Step coming off the Alex Wood situation because we had been in the valley. But we're coming off a championship season with a young, energetic coach who now is in FBS and looking to continue his ascension. And even though we had upwards of 30 plus seniors, so there was going to be some major turnover from the team, we still had some core folks at different positions. So you're bringing somebody in. I wouldn't say it's quite like replacing Nick Saban because I don't want to make that comparison. But from a HBCU level, you're bringing someone in to coach a team that has already tasted a championship without whoever's going to be brought in. And that was already going to be a difficult situation. So there's been no prevailing reason that I've heard per se. And that could also be the communication piece is that if you, and I'm saying you as an entity, and I'm kind of grouping them together because apparently President Robinson and the BOT chair were in lockstep because she shared it with them and they were in agreement. And some articles I heard say they actually interviewed Sean Gibbs. Don't know how true that is. I don't know if that was a misstatement, if that's fact. But that's in addition to even notifying the significant stakeholders or leaders of groups who are stakeholders, especially those who contribute financially, about wanting to go with an outside candidate, but the rationale behind it, so that if things like this won't happen where you have an uproar, you have different camps within the FAMU football family promoting 2 or 3 different coaches. So now you have 2 or 3 different camps, and then you're going outside. So if you have the communication and if you give your rationale for why you want to do that, then you have more likely have at least a fighting chance of success. And we don't know, how Sean Gibbs would have turned out, from a standpoint of, I know, he was in the center of the fight and all that stuff. But I'm just looking at the record, his record as a head coach, and they basically come up short 2 years in a row to a juggernaut Benedict team in the SIEC. But I haven't heard any prevailing rationale as to why. Why are we going outside? Like, well, I see this deficiency in the program, or I see something that needs to be corrected, or even the vision. Now, she shared the vision today in the article, and we'll probably talk about that later. But that's the first time it's been articulated as to what she's looking for. And it even speaks to a coaching candidate, but not necessarily where she wants the total program to go. And so not having that clarity of vision and then not sharing it either to the FAMU masses or at least to the stakeholders who can help influence and support it when people start to rise up and say, well, she told us this guy can do this guy can do that, or this candidate has this qualification, so we're going to support her in it. I think that was the big failing. So those are the 2 things that I saw. The lack of communication about the rationale for going external, coming off a championship. If we were coming off the same 3-8 season of Alex Wood, by all means, you could go to the moon. You could, beam somebody down from Star Trek, to lead the team, because at that point you're in the jumps and you need to get help. But coming off a 12-1 season and all the success that was had this year, and then to make a total shift in program. That's what doesn't match up. It's non sequitur. I guess that's the Latin for it doesn't make sense. And that's that missing explanation, and the fact that Dr. Robinson and the BOT chair, is a Walker or Welker,
Hey, Marcus.
didn't give direction.
Marcus, do that Latin thing again. What it is? Educate. I'm a little simple country boy. I'm a little. What was that again?
No, I think it's non sequitur. It doesn't line up. It doesn't make sense. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right because I took Latin way back in high school, and
Marcus
I don't remember half
today,
the stuff.
folks. Marcus is
Yes, sir.
today.
Drop it, boy. That's my dog. If anybody got something to say, you tell them that's my dog.
Folks are like, how do you spell that, Marcus? Folks are like, what? How do you? What? You know, that's all right though. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, so those are my two observations I thought about last night after reading the article. Was like, okay, so if somebody's new to the job and they're making a major decision, are you going to leave them out there hanging? Or are you going to say, hey, you need to talk to these people to make sure you get buy-in so you won't get slammed, or else you're going to be out there by yourself? And that didn't happen for whatever reason, whether it was oversight or whether it was intentional. And then the other fact that just from the camp, there's been no explanation why we're doing all this extra going outside. Not saying it's going to be perfect, because I mean, FAMU history and other schools' history is ripe with, okay, give us this candidate, and it didn't quite work out. Internal candidates or native sons that have come back, and it didn't quite work out. But at least an explanation as to what the thought process is, or why you feel that it's necessary to go outside.
Yeah, and I think that is where it's amazing that this thing has really spiraled out of control. It really is. When you make a decision, I mean, you talk about that advisement. Again, now this is President Robinson's hire, as has been pointed out by multiple people and places, and about this athletic director position. She was his choice, not the search committees, the 18-member search committee, his choice. So his choice. And like you said, Marcus, you failed to advise your choice. Now, as someone has told me, many people have been thrown under the bus by Dr. Robinson. I mean, the bodies are there.
Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna let you finish. To that point, since Dr. Robinson's been president since 2016, right? Milton Overton, AD, quit. John Eason, AD, quit. Courtney Gaucher, AD, quit. Then you had an interim in there with Mike Smith, and now this AD. That's the man history. That's who I'm supposed to have confidence in, selecting my next championship head football coach? No, sir. The devil is a liar. Go ahead.
Oh, one other thing before I can add to that, and something that Vaughn reiterated last week, and it came out a year and a half ago when we had the fiasco with the compliance. And I don't know what document, if it's the NCAA bylaws or which document, but it says the president is the head of athletics. I have to find a document because I don't like to have anything and going off of other folks' information and have it for myself. But if the president is the head of athletics and all these things are happening, then the accountability goes back to Dr. Robinson, regardless if we're going through 4 or 5 ADs. That accountable piece from the NCAA in their own document says he is at my job what they call the jailable official. I mean, nothing's jailable here, but if somebody at a plant or something goes down where you get the EPA coming in or something like that, the jailable official is the plant manager or the person in charge or whoever, the CEO. So he's the quote unquote jailable official as it relates to the NCAA. So in terms of all these things going on, it's his responsibility to make sure it's right.
Get the belt. Which what you're saying, Marcus, is yes, the belt was created for Larry Robinson. Let's keep it real. Let's not forget. The belt came out. Why? For who? Now, other people have got it, but the original recipient of the belt.
He was dodging the
cool.
belt. He was dodging the belt.
Was cool. Yes. It would
Yeah.
because he is at the top of the food chain, of the pyramid. And so all these other things that have happened or that have been allowed to happen are on his watch. And so while folks want to put him in the FAMU Football Hall of Fame, or not, excuse me, in the FAMU Athletics Hall of Fame, okay, this is on him. Not in, yes, it's on our VP IA, but it's also starts with him, which is why I found it delightful and humorous and was like, go ahead, Tiffany. Stand on your ground and don't stand up there and say, if y'all gonna shoot shots at me, let's make sure you spray them bullets all over where they belong. Don't just fire them over here at me. You need to shoot that way.
Hey,
and you need to shoot
did.
that
Pew,
way.
pew, pew, pew.
She sure did do a Nino Brown on Dr. Robinson and hey,
And Harper.
This ain't bigger than Nino. This ain't bigger than Nino.
If I'm going down, I'm taking somebody with me.
She did that now.
God bless her, because that I wish I would have clipped that. I didn't have time, but I almost wanted to clip that, and I almost wanted to start the show with that. And I took some quotes from. Did you have another point, Marcus? Because I know I want to do this. Go ahead, because we need to take a short break real quick. We're over, but go ahead.
No, I got the clip.
Oh, you do? Okay.
If I clipped it right.
If you clipped it right. So, are you talking about the clip where she got into?
I'm talking about Nino Brown. I'm talking about Nino Brown.
Oh, that clip. Okay. How long is that clip?
It was like 15 seconds.
All right. Well, then hold on. We're going to come back from the break and be ready to play that clip. I don't know if you got to share it or what you got to do to play that clip. And then I'm going to get into my takeaways. And then we're going to talk about what the first day of the search committee happened today, which, hey, I didn't even know it was happening today. That's how quick we moving.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to take away from that, but let's do this. Let's take a short break, come back, and get into the rest. I'll give you some of my takeaways and some thoughts. I had a chance to just bullet point some really interesting quotes from her statements to the Board of Trustees. I want to run those back to you guys here in a moment. You're watching the O&G Strike Zone right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
We're back. It's time for the 2024 Urban NerdCon. Join us in Atlanta, Georgia, April 26th through the 28th at the Cortland Grand Hotel. Special guests include Underworld creator Kevin Grievous, Gary Gray from Fairly Odd Parents, from Nickelodeon, Giovanni Samuels, the Science Machine Michael Green, the Sci-Fi Sisters, and from Spaceballs and Star Trek Voyager, Tim Russ.
Hi, I'm Tim Russ. Join me April 26th through the 28th at the Cortland Grand Hotel in Atlanta, Georgia for the Urban NerdCon. Our heroes, our villains, our stories. Everyone con. I'll see you there. Live long and prosper.
Visit theurbannerdcon.net to get your buy one, get one free badges before the price increases. Remember, our heroes, our villains, our stories. Everyone's con. See you there.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com. All right, welcome back to the O&G StrikeZone. Brian, Marcus, and Kelvin. I'm going to do this. I'm going to play that clip when we have Vaughn, because that way I can download the clip. You know, YouTube be so funny. That 15 seconds of playing that clip, who knows what'll happen with the YouTube police. So I'm going to go ahead and clip that, and then I'll play that scene from Nino Brown's trial. But all right, so get into just some of my thoughts and takeaways, right? Okay, so obviously the first thing from the opening comments, the one comment that hit home, and I love the fact that we had current players there. You know, shout out to Jeremiah Pruitt, Jalen Goss, Junior Maritovic. You had, but I thought Wally Williams, the president of the FAMU football alumni chapter, I thought he was on point, especially when he mentioned the fact that very early on into her administration, she chose Chad Johnson as an ambassador for FAMU athletics, over which he called, quote, a slap in the face to many alums, athletes, not only just football, but you had other athletes as well that could have served that role. Now, you know, we jokingly have tried to figure out what Chad's role is, except when we go to South Florida. And I guess, you know, he has a lot of followers. I mean, you know, I haven't seen any NIL deals with McDonald's or things like that. But anyway, I mean, Chad, but I think the point that he was trying to get across is the disconnect to reach out to our great alums. I mean, we have some very famous alums who are, you know, in the business world, that have major stakes in what has happened at FAMU in the past and are doing great going forward right now. And so it was good to hear his comments. Now, let's get into A.D. Sykes' comments. Some interesting quotes. Yeah, exactly, Steve. Jazz talking more about Colorado than FAMU. Okay, exactly. And look, you guys see it out there. I don't know what he's done. I mean, look, anytime he wears the brand, that's great. I mean, has he been on campus? When's the last time he's been on campus? Has he been on campus yet? I'm not sure he has. We're still trying to figure out when LeBron's going to get on campus. All right, let me move forward here. Sykes. So she first states in her comments, she talked about programmatic needs on and off the field. And I think she was very, now look, this woman is smart. Don't sleep here. And so everything she says, in my opinion, is coded with something, I believe. Okay. So she talked about programmatic needs on and off the field. Okay. And then she says she took calls and spoke to the leadership team and student athletes to find out what was important to them. Now, she has made it very clear, in my opinion, she don't care about you alumni to the degree that she values what the student athletes think and feel way more than what you stakeholders who support and have given to FAMU feel. That's just my thoughts, you know. And again, her saying that she took calls from them and spoke to them. And what did we all hear that the players and them said they wanted? Okay, moving forward. Then she says she would conduct a comprehensive and thorough yet swift process. I'm like, huh? Comprehensive and thorough? Really? Because she wanted to provide, keyword, stability to the program and be mindful of the upcoming National Signing Day on February 7th. So now you're showing me that that little sentence right there, somebody manufactured the hell out of that sentence. Because you can't tell me what was done was comprehensive and thorough, but you wanted to provide stability and you didn't talk to a single coach on the staff? I'm sorry. How does that create stability? Okay. And then the fact that she's talking about a signing day, I don't want to bring the school up because we beat it over the head, but that school in the state of Alabama, that's Crimson and Cream, they named a coach in like 2 days. She's waiting until National Signing Day. That's the target? Really? That's 4 weeks. That's more than 4 weeks away. At the time, that would have been more than 31 days away. A number of candidates were considered for this position. Guys,
Name
really?
one.
Name
one.
Name two.
Name more than one. Yeah, name more than the one we know.
What number? What's the number of candidates? A number 2, 3? What's the number? Because again,
we know what none of the names on the list that we saw from HBCU game day, O&G StrikeZone, Gerald Thomas with TDO. None of them people, because we talked to them. We know she ain't talked to them.
It wasn't them. And anyone who has ever hired, I've hired people in a previous job. If you've hired people, you know that even just doing more than one candidate is a task, right? Trying to put together a group of 5, that can take your whole day and week up. So, okay, she went with a number of candidates that were considered. And then she says, after the candidates, she narrowed it down to a pool of smaller candidates. Bro, I've done that. That is exhaustive. So that means, let me just fictionalize this. Even if she had 5 candidates and she narrowed it down to 2, really? Is that what we think happened? Here's the kicker. This was the part that had my mouth dropped. After she narrowed the pool down to smaller candidates, she says she shared their resume and their feedback to Chairwoman Harper and President Robinson. Uh-oh. Oh, so now there's more than just President Robinson involved in this. And Chairwoman Harper, she might have been on the screen looking like, was that my name that was just called?
No.
Was my name just called? Did she just mention my name?
Blue, did. The bus, the wheels of the bus.
That these folks, that she recommended a candidate for hire who, after interviewing that candidate, supported that decision. And then she says, after receiving the support and the support of Chairwoman Harper, hey, Chairwoman Harper, just to throw you under, just to back up, after I ran over it the first time, I'm going to back up again just to make sure we're all in this together. Who also interviewed the candidate. So wait a minute, Chairman Harper, she interviewed the candidate as well. She doesn't even make the hiring decision, but she got a chance to interview. So now I understand why the DSOs are pissed. I truly understand it now. She began providing the individual briefings to the Board of Trustees. Now, this is the part that was fascinating. When she says she provided individual briefings, when you hear that, do you mean, hey, I called this trustee, I called this trustee, or do you think she got on a group call and called a few trustees at a time? Because
who is she?
A.D. Sykes said she began providing individual briefings to the Board of Trustees. There are 11.
That ain't what the trustees said.
Right. I'm just reading I'm just quoting what she said, right?
Yeah.
So now, while conducting these meetings, the information was shared over social media. You damn right it was. And there was something that I heard Chairwoman Harper say at the end, that she had something that I don't know if she quite blamed social media for this, but she said something about she wishes this had never got into social media. And I tweeted this and said, no, ma'am. Thank God for social media, because social media exposed what was probably one of the biggest slap in the face, disrespectful decisions that had ever been made at FAMU. Now, maybe I'm going a little far by saying at FAMU, but at least
I don't know. It's pretty
really?
unpopular.
It's up there.
Is it?
It's up
Is
there?
in the running?
All right, it's top 5. It's top 5, right? I do think there was a moment of humility for our AD, and I think this was big. Because if you notice, if you go back and watch this, there is a nice pause. Because this was a well-written out, and she had repeated this. She read this more than one time. Because you could tell it was very well said. There was no stutters until almost like a Freudian gulp or Freudian pause. Right before she said, I'm willing to do what is needed to continue developing relationships and building trust with our constituents. I will do so by making sure your voices are heard in this process. And then she slapped the spades on the table and said, I will utilize a search firm. And I said, oh, God. And then there it is.
Just took everything, just took everything she just said and just discredited it.
Just boom. Spade right there on the table. Yeah. Take that, FAMUans. I'm going to give you a search firm. And then we're going to try to do a search committee. I was stunned, guys. I was literally stunned that it came to all that.
Where's the link for yesterday's meeting? People saying they watched it. I don't know where you watch it.
I'll put it on. It's Scotty's channel. Scotty, he streamed it.
Okay.
Or HBCU game day, but theirs was only audio.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I the only other takeaway that I pulled out of that, guys, was I applaud FAMU trustee vice chair Deveron Gibbons, who, after a lot of talking and a lot of motions by a lot of people, you talk about pulling out the belt. He pulled the belt out in true Kofi Hemingway fashion. And his quote, and I'm reading from the Tallahassee Democrat, if the process had been clean and untainted in the very beginning, we would not be asking for these things, these things we were asking for are the full transparency, the search committee, all these other things, which we know are all like, oh, God, a search committee. Yes. If this process had been clean and untainted from the get-go, we would not be here. And I thought, and he didn't say much but I think he said the most.
Agreed.
The most impactful. And also, I got to give props to Chairman Lawson as well, because it was genius of him to ask for information on the budget, because an update on the financials of the athletic department. That was very strategic in the fact that he even put it into the meeting, because I think if you saw, there was some question as to whether that even could be brought up, but he foresaw that potential roadblock, and he made sure that part. So what that means is there's supposed to be a report on Monday from VPIA about the financials of the department and how are we going to get out of this financial crisis.
So I know it ain't apples to oranges, man, but I'm less impressed by that, because we know that they don't control a lot of their budget and revenue streams, and I have to just say that it was a report that came out today that just across the track they running a $3 million deficit too. I mean, athletic budgeting is deficit budgeting at the end of the day, and we have to be honest about that. So, but go ahead.
Yeah, no. That's a great point. And look, but their $2 million deficit is a whole lot different than our $2 million. I know it's $2 million, not to, poo-poo $2 million.
It's not because of scalability, right? There's a different scalability between us.
Yeah.
So you can't. It's not apples and apples, in other words. But go ahead.
Yeah. Apples and peanuts, more like it. All right. We gotta turn left for a second and come back to this discussion, and will. Yes, we'll do so at the bottom of hour 2 with Vaughn Wilson. But we got to get to the business of talking about our athletic programs that are about to hit the field. Of course, if you joined us last week, we talked to Coach Garfield Ellenwood and Coach Jamie Shoup, track and field and baseball. Champions, exactly. And we got a feeling this might be our next championship coaching program this year. I just got a good, warm feeling. So coming up after the break, we're going to talk to Coach Patterson. Coach P, we're going to talk to Coach about the upcoming softball season. We're excited to see what's in store for our ladies in this program. And we are getting close. We're getting close to filling that goal. There's a goal. Hopefully you've seen the tweets. I know we tweeted it out again earlier.
We need to see if we can put it up. We need to see if we can put it up.
I'll work on that. I'm gonna run an extra long commercial break, so that way I can find that the everything for that sponsorship. So coming up right after this break, we're gonna talk about the upcoming 24 softball season with Coach Camise Patterson on the other side of this break. You're watching the O&G StrikeZone right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
Itchy, squirmy, scratchy, family not getting clean? Get Charmin Ultra Strong. Go get 'em. It just cleans better. With a diamond weave texture, your family can use less while still getting clean.
Goodbye, itchy squirm. Hello, cream bottom.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
At Hampton Law, our primary goal is to provide non-traditional yet effective solutions and redefine the approach to client legal concerns. As your trusted legal advisor, we believe in sophisticated, personalized services that eliminate the confusion and complexity sometimes associated with legal matters. Our high standard for client care and concern, coupled with our extensive legal knowledge and skills, make Hampton Law a resource focused on the protection of the client's interest and overall goals. We value our clients and truly enjoy working with them. Visit thamptonlaw.com to conveniently schedule an appointment online. Tamika Hampton Esquire, 1631 Rock Springs Road, Suite 336, Apopka, Florida, 407-494-1471. thamptonlaw.com.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
When it comes to professional learning, teachers deserve better. From the leader in online learning, Stride brings you the Stride Professional Development Center, an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that gives teachers choice and flexibility, allowing them to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. It's time you take charge of your learning. Visit us today to get started.
All right, welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. It's Brian, Marcus, and Kelvin with our head softball coach, Coach P, Coach Camise Patterson. Coach, how you doing tonight? See, Coach, you're on mute. You're on mute. Let me see. There you go, Coach. We got you. You can't hear us?
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
I'm on mute. Can y'all hear me?
We hear
Yeah.
Y'all can hear me? All right. Well, I can't hear y'all for whatever reason. I don't know what's going on, but I'm assuming y'all asked, for me to introduce myself. So I'll do that. I'm just going to have to read lips tonight. All right. But my name is Camise Patterson. This is my second year as the head coach of the wonderful Lady Rattler softball program. I took over a couple years after Coach Wiggins retired. So I'm trying to, get the legacy back on track.
So, Coach, you can't hear me right now, no?
No. Nope, okay. I can't hear you at all.
Okay, do you want to log out and log back in? Try that. Let's try that. So, yeah, can you log out and log back in, Coach? Hold on, I'm gonna put Coach out here, and then maybe I can type something here and say.
And while she's doing that, let's make that announcement.
Oh,
the link is
do we have to?
Yeah, it's news. It's Rattler news.
All right. The hits just keep coming. So let me do before we get to that. I know there was a report that Ryan Smith was potentially taking a job. Now, to my understanding, that is not official. All right. That's not, I know it might be in the works, but he is still very much a part of the FAMU staff. My indications tell me every conversation I've had, he wants to be at FAMU. He loves FAMU. And I think in large part, Coach Rattler Nation loves him. Very appreciative of what he's done. So let's not, he knows the coach. What was the name of the program again that it was rumored or that is talked about? Murray State. He does know the coach. He knows the coach. He's friendly. They're friends, but it's not official. Okay, so it is a possibility. But with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen here. Unfortunately, we are going to be down one coach. As the news is starting to come out that Coach Troy Johnson is going to be leaving. He sent out a tweet just about a half hour ago saying thank you to Rattler Nation. thank you for allowing me the last 3 years to be a part of the family. It's been one heck of a ride. Now, I don't know. Does it say down in there what his next move is?
No, it doesn't say what he just that he's going home. He's from the Carolinas, so I don't know what that means. Maybe he's going to be a part of South Carolina State staff.
Well, look, he's.
I mean, he's from that area.
He is, and he did a great job with handling a lot of the administrative things for Coach Simmons and this program over the last couple of years. So, Coach has always been a great person to talk to, always been available. So, yeah, that's the latest news coming out. And of course, obviously, we know earlier this week, was it this week or last week? Coach Rizpress. We lost Coach Rizpress, who took an opportunity with Coach Prime in Colorado. So, again, Marcus, you pointed out, and thank you to everybody who consumed and read Marcus's article on how we got to where we are. But you pointed out a lot of the coaching departures in the past. And so it's very sad to see this staff really going in other directions.
And not all by choice.
Not all by choice.
But by necessity.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys have families. They have jobs. They've got it. And unfortunately, when you have indecision and you have this kind of stuff going on from your administration, this is what happens. So, yeah. So we thank Troy Johnson for all he gave. All right, let's see if we get back and got Coach P here. Coach, how we got you?
Yeah, we're good now. We're good.
All right. Well, hey, welcome back, Coach.
Thank y'all. Thank you.
We appreciate you coming in and talking with us. All right. So let me share the information. I put it in the chat room, everybody. But let's talk about the FAMU softball fundraiser first. I'm gonna pull that page up, and I'm gonna give you a chance to kind of talk about the nation, because I saw we are very close to achieving the goal that was set.
Yeah. So we're using this fundraiser to raise funds. We need a couple things done to the field. And also we want to provide our student athletes the best experience possible. So we want to use these funds to renovate our batting cages, to help make sure we have a working concession stands, because we want to make sure that y'all are able to eat good while you're at the game. We want to be able to paint some different things that have needed painting for a while. Yeah, I know. I get hungry during the games too. And then we also want to make sure that the athletes, the athletes, they deserve everything. So we want to give them as much as possible.
Right. And so I put that link up there. There's different ways that you can donate. If you're so inclined, you can donate. You can donate as much as $500, maybe even more. You could go down as far as $50. Or you can put a custom amount. If you don't have 50, you're available, and you got 1887, or you got 20, or I know Coach just hit into her 30. So what was the number? 30?
31. Go ahead and donate $31.
Yeah, 31. You want to drop 31 for 31 great years of life for Coach? Then go ahead and put that in there. Whatever it is, your donation goes to. And you see that there's 12 days left. So we are so close to that goal, 6,900 already. So while you're on the show, folks, Rattler Nation, friends of the O&G StrikeZone, wherever you're watching and listening, go ahead and hit that link up, please. You can find it. We've tweeted it out already. So, and I know I'll put it in the chats again here towards the end of our conversation with Coach. But you can go and support our softball program and really make a difference for this upcoming season, which is 22 days and some hours away.
Yes, and we're very excited. This year we get to start off at home, which we haven't done that since the early 2000s. It's been a long time since we had our first game at home on opening day. So We're starting off with Texas Tech. They're coming to the Hill. They will be at FAMU. We're not going to them. So we have a doubleheader on Friday, February 9th, and we're looking to fill the Hill. We want to have a lot of fans out there, so make sure y'all mark your calendar so you can come support us.
Go ahead, Kelvin.
Coach, I want you to talk about the fall. How did the fall camp go? I want to know, how we are health wise, and then just talk about some names that we should be looking out for.
All right. Well, our fall it was a rebuilding year. We lost a lot of seniors last year, so we had 11, and only 3 came back. 1 came back as my GA, 2 came back as fifth years. So we really lost total. I think we lost 12 total, and we brought in 13 new players, 6 freshmen, and the rest are junior transfers. So really excited to have pretty much a whole new team, 20 healthy, all strong players. So to be able to come out of the fall with nothing but a couple minor injuries, a couple pulled hamstrings, maybe some wrist issues, is a blessing. But looking forward to this season, definitely. We only played 8 games this fall, which is the maximum number allowed by NCAA, and we went 6-2, I want to say, which is a good record for us. We played Chipola, we played TCC, we played who else? Thomas University. So not Division I competition, but still really good competition. And to be able to see how the team came together, knowing that we had 13 new players, it gives me a lot of hope and it gives me a lot to look forward to for the spring. You asked about some names. Of course, we got some returners. So Mia Blasingame is back for her 5th year. Nia Morgan is back for her 5th year. And then we've got some, who else do we have coming back? Amaya Gaynor. I know that's one of everybody's favorites. Amaya Gaynor, our shortstop, is back for another year. This is actually her senior year. So God willing, hopefully, she doesn't have any injuries and she's able to get through this year in good health, good condition, and make an impact because she can definitely impact the SWAC. Some newcomers to look out for. We have a transfer from Jacksonville University named Tatiana Davis. She is a beast. She's small, she's quick, she's powerful, and her glove work is amazing. We got a couple freshmen, Anaya Canty. I think that's one to really make sure we're on the lookout for. Monroe Oglesby, that's another one. And then Zoriana Hughes, which is one of our pitchers. I think she's going to come in and, if she does what she's supposed to do and we as a team do what we're supposed to do, she could really be pitcher of the year or freshman of the year. Any of them can take any of those awards. So really looking forward to seeing what this group does this year.
Okay.
Nice. Go ahead, Marcus.
Well, actually, Coach, welcome. Thanks for coming back on the show. You kind of answered a little bit of my question because I'm looking at my spreadsheet because as folks know, I try to keep track of the recruiting. Can you tell me about Samantha Smith?
Oh,
I think she's just coming off a JUCO national title.
2 JUCO national titles. So Samantha Smith came to us from Florida Southwestern, down south in Fort Lauderdale, and she won 2 national junior college softball championships back to back. So she's going to be definitely in our pitching rotation. You might see her play some third base, maybe some second base if we need her to. But she's a phenomenal athlete, and as great of a pitcher as she is, y'all have got to see her hit. She's got a big bat. She loves to go backside. She can hit it over. She can drop a bunt. Like, she is a very versatile player, especially on the offensive side. She's really going to help us elevate our team this year. Last year, y'all know, our weakness was pitching. We only had 2 pitchers by the time we got halfway through season. So now we're coming into season. We got 4 strong pitchers. We have our returners, Lauren Peppers, who was with us last year. We have our redshirt freshman, Kayla Aldridge. She had an injury last year, but she's back 100% ready to go. She's also a phenomenal hitter. Then we have Zoriana Hughes, our freshman. Like I told y'all, she should win some SWAC awards this year. And then Sam Smith. So I'm really excited to be able to have 4 healthy, quality pitchers this year.
Okay. And do you think, I guess just to follow up, because I'm looking at my list and I see about 6 or 7 high school freshmen. To what, I don't know if this is the biggest high school class that you've had since you've been a part of the program, either as the lead or as assistant coach. And to what do you attribute the influx of talent from the high school ranks?
Yeah, it definitely is the largest freshman class we've had. I think this is the largest freshman class we've had since 2016. So it's been a while, but These freshmen, they're talented. So this past summer and last fall is really focused on bringing in not only quality players, but quality people, people who live by the motto, excellence with caring, making sure that they are actually FAMU Rattler material and not just great players. So all of our freshmen exemplified that during the recruiting process. They all have that drive to win. And honestly, y'all, it's reminded me of that 2014 national, or not national, but the 2014 MEAC championship team. They came in, they won 4 years in a row, and that's our goal for this freshman class.
Okay. And just one final follow-up. For the class of 2024, have you gotten, I know there's at least one signee. Have you gotten any more that you can speak on?
I can speak on the other two that one of them actually signed. The other one, we're just waiting to get her paperwork to her. But we have another first baseman coming in named Taylor Duplessis. She's from Indiana, so expanding our recruiting zone up north. She's got great glove work, great footwork. She's about 5'9", and she can throw, she can run. But the best thing about her is she's long. She's really long. So having her over there at first base is going to help us a lot. And then we have a outfielder who is 5'11", named Sierra Maple. Very tall. She looks frail. However, when I tell you she's so powerful, like y'all got to see her. She throws right-handed, hits left-handed, hits for power, bunts for speed. She can slap if we need her to. And then she can go up the wall. She will climb a wall and get that ball. So those are the other two signings that we have right now. But we do have 3 other ones that we're just waiting on that final commitment so we can go ahead and get them signed. And all 3 will be junior college transfers.
Okay. Is Miss Maple the mystery Orlando area player we talked about last time?
Yes, she is. She is.
I thought so. Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I love. Don't you love how Mark? That's what we love, Coach. We go digging. We got somebody in our back pocket who'll go.
Marcus knows. He knows every time. You can't hide anything from him.
Hey, look, I tell you, man, best kept secret we got on our show is Marcus. I'm telling you, Marcus keeps us going, man. Hey, okay, so let's start with going back to your pitchers. Lauren Peppers is the basically the main returner. Have you gotten to the point of deciding how or who will be your opening day starter, or how will you go through that process if you haven't already decided?
Well, thankfully, it's not fully my decision. This year I do have help. I have a pitching coach and I have my GA. I think I told y'all last time I was on the show that we brought back Veronica Burst, or Ronnie, as everybody knows her, number 8, 3-time MEAC champion, pitcher of the year, like all these accolades while she was here at FAMU. So we brought her back. So that's ultimately going to be her decision. I trust her wholeheartedly. So if she comes to me, she says she wants it to be Sam, that's who it's going to be. If she wants it to be Lauren, then I trust her to make sure that Lauren gets the job done.
Nice. And in terms of now, we know our good friend of the program, Nia Morgan. Like she was an Iron Woman. She was squatting in the catching position practically every. I don't know, was it every inning? Every inning. Unreal. Now you mentioned we she may not have to do so much work this year, right? You got a couple extra catchers, or at least one others, right?
Yeah, so we have 2 additional catchers, and 3 if we count, our backup catcher. But we have a freshman named Tiana Davis who's coming in. She's really putting in some work. She's got some learning to do. She's got some growing to do. But I think by the time we get midway through the season, she's really going to be a really valuable player for us long term. And then we also have Kayla Alexandre, or KP as we call her. She's originally from Dominican Republic. She was at FIU her freshman year. And then she was at Santa Fe State College her sophomore year, and now she's with us. And she's a phenomenal catcher. She blocks, she drops, she picks, she throws. Like anything we need her to do, she's willing to do. So her, Naya, and Tiana will split time. And then if for whatever reason those 3 can't catch, then we have another one named Bree Duggins. She's also a third baseman, first baseman. So she'll see a couple innings behind the plate, but she'll see most of her time in the actual field.
It really sounds like you went emphasis on versatility with this squad. I can tell when you hear you talk. It sounds like you are really. I can see the excitement in the options that you have, and you can move pieces around on any given day, the fact that you have so many young ladies that can do and play more than one position?
Yeah, I really got handcuffed last year with players who could only play one position, or with all of our injuries, having to keep players like Naya behind the plate or in certain positions for the whole season. And it burned them out. It burned me out as well, but it really burnt them out. So making sure that our team stays healthy, having options was a big focus of mine last fall and then this past summer when it came down to the recruiting. And then also making sure that we're recruiting athletes that are not just great softball players, but great athletes overall, so that if we need to put them at a position, they'll be okay. They'll be fine to go with it.
Gotcha. Go ahead, Kelvin.
So, Coach, I want you to talk about the rest of your coaching staff. Introduce us to them, and then if we are to make a run at a SWAC title in the tournament, what are like 3 keys that we can look for that will show us that we're on the right track?
All right. So my coaching staff, of course, you have myself. I'm the head coach. Then we have Veronica Burst. Everybody calls her Ronnie. So if you see her, please don't call her Veronica. She'll feel like she's Coach Wiggins. All right. So it's Ronnie Burst. She was number 8 when she was here. She played from 2000. Ooh, she's gonna get mad at me. 2014 to 2018, I want to say. Like I said, 3-time MEAC champion. So happy to have a champion on our staff, another champion on our staff. And then rounding out our staff, we have our GA, Janaea Mobley, who was our first baseman last year. She also coincidentally wore number 8. So maybe there's a thing for number 8 that I didn't pick up on before, but it's just 3 of us. We have our student manager, Sydney. She's done a phenomenal job. She makes sure that the players have packed bags. She makes sure the laundry gets done, whatever we need at practice. She's also taking pictures, and she runs our FAMU softball fan page as well. So I include her in our staff because she is a very important part of our culture.
I was wondering who was running that page. You need hey, tell her she needs to make sure she tags at O&G StrikeZone. I see that page and I love it. I mean, great info. I got to go back through and make sure we shout out a lot of that team. But she's doing a great job with that page, by the way, Coach. So props to make sure to show her some. Yeah, tell her tag us. We'll make sure to share and retweet as often or repost as often as possible.
For sure, I'll let them know.
All right, go ahead, Marcus. Got any last things for Coach?
Yes, I was curious. Is there anything like the Gar Lucas Classic that we play in Atlanta for softball, and if somehow we could get one for FAMU softball?
I'm not sure what the Gar Lucas thing is in Atlanta.
I think it's the Braves, or I guess they sponsor Grambling and FAMU to come up to play a 3-game series I think it's the AAA affiliate in Gwinnett County, but play in a major league stadium there, I guess, as a tribute to 2 players, one from FAMU, one from Grambling, who matriculated into Major League Baseball.
Oh, we don't have that per se. Actually, for our professional sports league for softball, they actually play at universities, so we don't have designated fields just for our professional teams. But what we do attend is the HBCU tournament, which is hosted by Alabama State. So we go to Montgomery. This year it's us, Tuskegee, Alabama State, A&M, Howard, who else? Alcorn State, Tennessee State. So I think it's 9 of us total, 9 HBCUs. We come together and we play 4 to 5 games. We also have a chance to tour the Legacy Museum, which if you have not had an opportunity to go see that in Montgomery, Alabama, take some time. It's a quick drive. Okay, it's going to take you about 3 hours to get through the museum. It is kind of heavy, but it's definitely something that I think all of us need to, see at least once. So we do that. And then, so we do that. And I do think there will be an opportunity for us to play in Atlanta. I know that another organization has started a HBCU tournament, and we got invited this year, but we already had prior commitments. So maybe in 2025 or 2026, we might be up there.
Okay.
And Kelvin, to answer the last part of your question, I realized that I forgot some of it. 3 things that are going to be important if we make a run at the SWAC championship. Pitching, that's going to be key. Pitching, staying healthy, and hitting. Like, we got to make sure we we hit well last year, but then there were a couple games where, if we couldn't hit, if one person didn't get a hit, the whole team didn't get a hit. So just making sure that the players are picking each other up, making sure that if the person in front of you doesn't get the job done, that you put that on your shoulders and you be the one to make sure that it happens.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey,
awesome.
Coach, run it back. The teams that are in that HBCU Classic. That is February 23rd through the 25th. That's in Montgomery, Alabama, being hosted obviously by Alabama State. You said Alabama State, Alabama A&M, Tuskegee, Tennessee State, Alcorn. Who else?
Howard University.
Uh-huh.
Southern and Grambling.
Southern Grambling. Okay. Appreciate that. Yeah, want to make sure we spotlight that. That's a good weekend. That's a good weekend.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Hey,
come on down. Come on down. That's the last year. This the one we swept last year. So we're looking to sweep again.
Yeah, I watched it last year online.
Yeah. I need to. Yeah, we need to talk to my good friend Travis up there and be like, Travis, I need some media passes so I can get up there. I had to jump on a flight and get up there to Montgomery for that one. That sounds like it'll be fun. All right. So again, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you check out that link again. The link that I posted. Hopefully you guys can. Hey, I've seen we're over 7,000 already, Coach. See.
All right.
Hey, we're almost there.
We just need a couple of $31 donations and we'll be there.
Exactly. Hey, everybody do your part. Help our softball program. And we look forward to this upcoming year. Again, the season. I'm pulling up here on the site. Let me see. I love the countdowns. I love these countdowns. 22 days, 17 hours, 29 minutes, and coming up on 10 seconds from first pitch. Oh, man, Coach, you got to be excited. I can tell the excitement. I can see the joy and the smile. We are excited for you and for this team this year. Go ahead, Kelvin.
Coach, how can I buy some hats, some gear or something?
Yeah.
Good question. All right, so we're actually gonna have a BSN storefront. So you'll be able to go online, get your hats, get your gear. You'll be able to get a half zip, quarter zip, parka if you want to, and it's all gonna say FAMU softball.
Do you have an idea when that'll be in place?
You know what? I will have it up for you on Monday. How about that?
What? Look at that. You look. All right. Go, Coach. That's the kind of stuff we talking about. Movement is payday this weekend. I'm ready to spend some money on FAMU softball.
Buy me one too then.
Yeah. You see, look at you. Hey, that'll be great. It'd be good to see people getting a chance to buy some gear. That way we can support the team. All right. Anything else we left out, Coach? Anything else you want to mention that we didn't talk about before we let you go?
No, I think we hit all the points, y'all. Just keep donating. Every dollar goes a long way. We're thankful for all the donations. I gotta say that we are very grateful for everybody who's already donated, and we're grateful for everybody who's going to donate on Friday once y'all get paid.
Amen. There it is, Coach. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Coach P, Camise Patterson, and the 2024 softball team. Their season begins on February 9th. It's a home series against Texas Tech. 2 games on Friday beginning at 3 and 5. And then they travel right across the tracks over there to Florida State to take on the Lady Noles at 3 o'clock. And then they've got Charlotte. So it's actually a whole weekend of a couple of games against Texas Tech. Then they got over to Florida State for a couple games. And then on Sunday, we got Florida State back at our place.
No, actually, we're going to be back at their place.
Ah, man. Okay. So I read it
But
wrong.
we're gonna get them back across the track. Don't worry about it. We'll get them.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Well, hey, Coach, good health. Best of luck. And we look forward to following the progress.
Let's go
every weekend. And we definitely gonna have you back on to kind of give us some in-season updates and maybe even get a chance to interview some of the young ladies throughout the course of this season. Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah,
All right. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.
Take care.
Thanks, Coach.
All right. That's what's up, Coach P. Man, I'm excited about the softball season. I'm excited for Nia Morgan. That's our girl, friend of the program. She's not gonna have to be Iron Woman last year, man. I can't even imagine every inning having to catch every inning. So I'm excited for her that she gets a chance to maybe even if it's just DH, or I think she played third as well. So she doesn't have to be the catcher all season. So I'm excited, super excited for her. So, all right. Well, we got Vaughn Wilson coming up here on the other side of the break. And let's get back into the discussion, hear your thoughts and comments. And I was serious. Let me check my email because I posted out there. I said, if you were interested and wanted to come on and join the show, and if you wanted to have some thoughts and get your thoughts out there for, 3 minutes, that's how long the Board of Trustees gave public comments. And if you got a public comment that you didn't get in at the Board of Trustees meeting, well, we're gonna give you your 3 minutes on the O&G
Come
Strike
on
Zone.
through. Come on through. Ms. Campbell, come on through.
Yeah, send an email to ONGStrikeZone@gmail.com, and I will send you a link to join us. But coming up first, we're going to talk to Vaughn Wilson. Man, Vaughn has been he's been putting the words out there. He's been putting what do you say? What's the phrase? Putting pen to pad or fingers to keyboard or whatever you want to call it. And so we're going to talk to Vaughn about his latest piece.
Foot to butt.
That too. We're going to talk about these parameters of this new search committee, and boy, very, very interesting. So let's take a short break, come back, very short break, and talk to Vaughn right here on the other side. You're watching the O&G Strike Zone right here on the Black College Sports Network.
We're back. It's time for the 2024 Urban NerdCon. Join us in Atlanta, Georgia, April 26th through the 28th at the Cortland Grand Hotel. Special guests include Underworld creator Kevin Grievous, Gary Gray from Fairly Odd Parents, from Nickelodeon, Giovanni Samuels, the Science Machine Michael Green, the Sci-Fi Sisters, and from Spaceballs and Star Trek Voyager, Tim Russ.
Hi, I'm Tim Russ. Join me April 26th through the 28th at the Cortland Grand Hotel in Atlanta, Georgia for the Urban NerdCon. Our heroes, our villains, our stories. Everyone con. I'll see you there. Live long and prosper.
Visit theurbannerdcon.net to get your buy one, get one free badges before the price increases. Remember, our heroes, our villains, our stories. Everyone's con. See you there.
All right, welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Brian, Marcus, Kelvin, good friend of the program, Vaughn Wilson, HBCU Game Day. Vaughn, how are you feeling? How are you doing this evening?
I put my NerdCon Star Trek symbol up, start things off. I think I need to come to that NerdCon. I like that commercial.
Hey, you got to come, man. That's gonna be a great for.
I'm a Trekkie. I love Star Trek and I love all the.
I'm telling you, man.
I really think I'd be at home there. If you don't, I love sports, but I love science fiction and comic books.
Just the concept, and I just think for us, I mean, I growing up, I didn't even process that there was this dichotomy, and then you get older, and then you start to see things, and you're like, man, that makes a difference. That's significant. And my dad used to always.
And we start kicking ourselves for throwing away all them damn comic books, right?
Yes, man. Them special editions I used to ride to the store to get and everything, man. Them things. Oh. Anyway, Well, look, I want to start by kind of going through the latest from our first committee meeting. What are we calling this committee? You know, we had the 18-member committee the last time. What do we call this thing?
Brian, can I interrupt you?
Please.
Have you checked your social media?
You know, I'm doing the show, so no. What
yeah,
did I
so I'm gonna help you out.
LaTroy
Johnson just left. The director of football operations just left.
We reported that. We did talk about that. We talked
crazy,
about
man.
that.
And he's going to South Carolina State.
Headed to South Carolina State, just like I thought.
Just like you thought. South Carolina, man, I tell you, chin is buried, man. Just
Yeah, and that's our first home game, right?
Yeah.
That's why they say see you on the flip side.
Yeah.
It's in different colors.
Yeah, I'll see you August 30th, Rattlers. Yeah, there we go. Thanks.
I'm sorry I didn't know y'all talked about that.
Oh, it's all good.
I came out of a meeting.
I didn't know where he went, though.
Yeah, with South Carolina State.
Okay. So, all right. So the committee, I don't even know what to call this thing, but the search committee, and I'm reading out of off of Gerald's report here from Tallahassee Democrat, consists of representatives from the football team, Rattler Boosters, 220 Club, National Alumni Association, the FAMU Foundation, the Student Government Association, Faculty Athletics, and the Rattler F Club. I can go through the names for people if you're really interested, but I found more interesting VP Sykes's ideal characteristics for FAMU's next head coach. Now, this is the bullet points, which I'm assuming came from this meeting today. They read the ability to recruit athletically and academically gifted athletes, college head coaching experience with a good competitive record, appreciation of HBCU culture, potential longevity in the role, NCAA compliance and APR knowledge, communication skills. That's an interesting one. Fundraising and budget management. Really? But I guess you got to be specific these days. Fundraising and budget management expertise. So now I want my coach to fundraise now. Anyway, knowledge of current trends in college football, such as the NCAA transfer portal and name, image, and likeness partnership. So now we want our coach to have NIL partnerships. Vaughn, what do you make of this?
I stand by the article that I wrote that came out today. That it's plainly obvious that VP Sykes wants to create this football program in her image. No matter that she came into a national championship, the highest level that can be achieved, she wants to remake it in what she wants it to be, and just dismiss what was built over the last 6 years and what it netted us, the strides we made. Let me just make a history lesson, because I hear something that I keep seeing being a false narrative out there. FAMU's APR at the moment is fine. FAMU has gone through very documented troubles. It started before Alex Wood came in. So let me just say this. As bad as we think Alex Wood was as a coach, the parameters with which he had to work were astronomical. There was a big weight on him. He couldn't even have spring practice. He had a 10 or 12% reduction in scholarships, trying to adjust to the HBCU culture within itself. Coach Alex Wood was not a fit at FAMU by his own admission, but he had a set of parameters that were there before he got there, which just most coaches would not succeed under those parameters. So let me just say that we don't know what kind of coach he could have been if he had come into a on par situation. So while we, with the 1-10 season included in there, in all fairness to Alex Wood, as you look at how APR is determined, is from 4 years back up to an average. And so let's just start there with Alex Wood. After Alex Wood, you got Coach Simmons, who came in and had to deal with infractions from what was the holdover from before Wood to the Wood era. That affected Simmons' first years as head coach specifically in 2019, where the team was 9-2 and was not able to claim the conference title. So from there, those parameters continue to translate into a COVID year, which wreaked complete havoc on everything educational. Am I making excuses for Willie Simmons for his APR scores? No, I'm not making excuses for Willie Simmons, because Willie Simmons was brought there to coach football players, X's and O's. Willie Simmons does not hold a doctorate in education. Willie Simmons is known for very good X's and O's and strategies and recruiting and winning. And that's what he did. Every institution worth its weight in salt has embraced the athletics department and embraced the esteemed doctorates in education on that campus to dictate what happens in the academics situation of an athletic program, so that the coaches can coach and they take direction from people whose area of expertise is education to assist in the APR. Exhibit A. And I wish I could have the exact words, but trust me, Rod Broadway said some words very similar to this when he got hired as North Carolina A&T's coach. One of the first questions in his press conference was, Coach Broadway, you're coming into North Carolina A&T and they got APR issues. What are you going to do? Coach Rod Broadway said point blank, I'm going to do nothing. That's not my issue. That's a university issue. You can go back and look at the tape, and he said very close to those exact words that I say, and I couldn't agree with him more. But it seems like it's being framed that with all of these emphasis on APR and other things that are going on, that they're trying to frame it as Coach Simmons was not a good academic coach. That's not what we brought him here to do. We've seen that story play out. We've seen that story play out with Willie Taggart there to try to clean up what Jimbo did. Mm-hmm. You know? And it doesn't lead to success.
And Vaughn, just to Vaughn's point, I'm gonna say what he hadn't said. We've been on sanctions multiple times since 2003, 2004. You know who was the provost in 2003 at FAMU 2004 after Billy Joe? Larry Robinson. People forget about that. He was the interim in 2007. He was the interim in 2012. We were on sanctions then. So, up to Vaughn's point, this ain't nothing new for FAMU, and it's absolutely a institutional problem because it's been multiple times, and it all centers around the fact that you don't maintain a staff that is trained and NCAA certified to advise and to monitor the admit students and so forth. Remember now, when Jamie Shute, we know all his players in baseball are they have a team GPA above 3.0 and so forth. They were on sanctions because of how the university admitted those kids into the university instead of admitting them into a degree seeking program, upper level. They let them into the university, and so therefore several players were deemed ineligible by the NCAA. So it's more than just APR. APR is not just necessarily people not going to class and all that kind of stuff too, but FAMU has a long history of being on the NCAA sanctions, and it is institutional. And Larry Robinson has been a administrator, number 2 or number 1 through all of it. All right, sorry, Vaughn.
No, I mean you go directly to the point that I'm trying to make. What was the only way that the team APR hit an all-time high recently? Why did that happen? Because the university came in and put the personnel in place.
They brought in 6 people. That's right. 6 people who were certified, NCAA certified,
Right.
and that happened. And that happened before this AD started, by the way, too.
Absolutely. They brought in six on the academic side and 6 on the compliance side. So, and there were times during Willie Simmons' tenure here that there was one person doing all of that, every bit of that. So to blame him, or to try to put the blame on him, or to try to frame it that it was Willie Simmons' fault for the APR and there was no assistance given him until it was downright embarrassing and then you were forced to make it, that doesn't make sense. Willie Simmons could never fix it. It could only be the university that could fix it. So now that we're moving past the point, because Coach Simmons is gone and he's out recruiting and in his new blues that I can't get used to yet.
Me neither.
But hey, I'm happy for him. I want to take a poll of you 3 guys on here. Now, after a football game, and you come in the locker room, who should be talking?
Not the AD.
The coach.
The head coach.
The head coach.
Right. Do you know we had a guy in the locker room after Celebration Bowl? You know, Coach Simmons spoke third. The head coach. Normally the head coach comes in and say, "Hey guys, good game, blah blah blah. Here's such and such. Here's such and such." No, Coach Simmons spoke third. And if you look at the video,
they never miss a photo op.
If you look at that video, the
president and AD, they don't miss photo ops. I'm sorry, I'm calling them out. God damn it.
Hey, I just want you to look at Coach Simmons' face on that famous video of the athletic director making her speech. It says it all. It says it all. And
the humility of Willie Simmons this past year should definitely be.
We don't even know what he went through. And the reason Coach Simmons, and I'm gonna tell you the person he was, how FAMU he was. The reason Coach Simmons was the last one in the locker room, because after the celebration on the podium in the center field, he was getting ready to go in and he recognized a FAMU grad. Gosh, I can't remember her name. She used to be on TV 20. And she's now working in Atlanta.
Maya
Ellison. He saw Maya Ellison. He stopped and gave Maya Ellison a scoop interview from the coach leaving the podium on his way to the locker room. He stopped and he recognized her. Yep. And he was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And he stopped to give her that interview. Meanwhile, they're gathering up his team in the locker room and going on. So I'm just saying his dedication to FAMU and FAMUans to make sure that Maya got what she needed cost him the opportunity to be the first one to speak to his team after all they've been through, after all they did to get there. That's just a fact. That is not something I made up. When I'm giving my opinion, I make it very clear. It says op-ed at the beginning. And even my op-ed that I learned from a person. How did I learn to write? I learned from a person. There are 4 Black Pulitzer Prize. They call them the Black Pulitzers. The A. Philip Randolph Award is given by the NNPA, National Newspaper Publishers Association, every year. I was taught by a guy who won 2 of them in 1 year. That's why I learned to write. So when you see me with these long columns, I know he's looking down on heaven like, "Son, I told you not to write that long. And if you write that long, take out some of the other parts and make sure it's just the good part." But I haven't learned to do that yet. Just to give you all a heads up, I have another column coming out tomorrow. And the title of the column is, Will Sykes' decision, I forgot how I said it. Well, with the Sykes, is Robinson's reputation in athletics hinging on Sykes' decision as the next FAMU football head coach is chosen? That's it. The title is not that long. I can't remember what the title is, but it will be out first thing in the morning. And it's just a thought. It's just another opinion piece. But if anybody reads my opinion pieces, I put a lot of facts in there, and you can tell the line between when I'm saying what Vaughn is saying and when I am stating facts.
Let me ask you this, Vaughn, because I know you're very connected, and especially you have access to a lot of people, whether it be directly or through the other guys with that work with the HBCU Game Day. The title that Sykes wants to rebuild FAMU football herself. Have you talked to anybody who has worked with her? Maybe might she considered a mentor? She's talked about this dream job, her mentors. Again, I went back and watched the whole initial conversation she had with Allison, and I know you've had conversations with her. But who are these people that she has leaned on that has given her, and I want to say this right, who's given her the belief, the moxie,
bad information, bad advice,
whatever it is,
terrible,
the advice,
terrible,
whatever that has told her that, hey, you can go in and create this thing to look like what it is you want it to look like. And I don't, where you base, where I just don't understand where that comes from, because I'm looking at the places that she's been, and maybe outside of that brief period of time at Grambling, where else has she been that would say, hey, you can go in and rebuild this to look like what?
You can pick a football coach.
Brian,
I'm not going there.
Brian,
A lot of people are, but I just want to know where that comes from. Have you been able to determine that?
I got a simple answer for you. But what was that thing? Maybe she stayed at a Holiday Inn Express. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know that part of it. What I do know, and you know, when you're writing so much in these articles, they start running together. But you know, HBCU Game Day, I don't know if everybody is aware that we were picked up about 2 years ago by the McClatchy Group. That is a group of newspapers with a circulation probably up to 30 million all across the country. Okay. So my articles actually go farther than my videos than our videos do. Okay. Our print brand is very strong. So which is why it's important that I sit down and put, I think Marcus was about to say pen and paper, or Kelvin was something, we were trying to get that phrase together. That's why I have to do that sometimes, because some of our viewers watch what we write as opposed to watching our video. So we got a great combination going. So the point is, when I'm writing, those kind of have gone together when you're researching and you're putting out multiple articles behind each other. But I think this is in the article that's coming out tomorrow, so y'all might be getting a preview, or it might be an article I wrote today. But the point is, pointing to Dr. Eason and his credentials for unilaterally picking a coach. He was a player, an outstanding coach, a coordinator, a coach at multiple Power 5 schools, long career in athletic administration. So understanding the nuances of picking a coach was a slam dunk for him because of his experience. And by the way, having played at Bragg Stadium, that doesn't hurt either. So he had the parameters of someone who understood what FAMU needed And when I talked to him recently, he said, and I just asked him, how did you make that decision? He said, from all of my experiences, I just knew that that's what FAMU needed. So it wasn't about John Eason. He doesn't even want to take credit. He's embarrassed when we credit him with bringing Willie Simmons here. It wasn't about John Eason. It was about rebuilding FAMU. And when you keep that first, you're going to have a good outcome. What we saw in the fumble in the first effort to replace Coach Willie Simmons, I don't think kept FAMU first.
No.
I think something else was first. And I still think something else is first now. That's my opinion. I think something else is first as opposed to FAMU because so many stakeholders are just heartbroken. Just when I repost the articles on social media, and then I was in a group text of former FAMU football players. And when I tell you those guys are furious, Wally was the nice guy. I promise you, Wally was the nice guy. These guys are furious, and the underlying tone is it feels a little different when you've suited up in that orange and green. If you've been out on that in the pit and you've been in Bragg Stadium representing your university, it does feel different. And sometimes I'm not even good at separating myself from that as well. And people ask me what keeps you going. I think that is what keeps me going because I continue to see these young men on the team. I see them all as my little brothers. They're our legacies. And we have to make a good environment for them that we had. The best time of our lives, all those former football players will tell you, the best time of our lives was suiting up in that orange and green and everything that came with it. Practice, 2-a-days, all of that was the best times of our lives. And we had none of this to worry about when we were playing. And it's just sad that these young men's times, which should be the best of their lives, they're spent worrying about what tomorrow holds.
So what are you telling these guys? What the guys like Murtovic, Goss, Pruitt, the ones who did a great job of articulating their points in that trustees call. What are you and other guys telling them if they're listening? What do you say to them?
We continue to tell them to keep speaking up for yourself. Because if nobody's speaking for you all and thinking about you all, you have to keep speaking for yourself. Nobody's thinking you all are selfish or being bratty or anything. We respect. The celebration was around the celebration was around Martin Luther King Day and the celebration. I mean, he was a big proponent of speaking up for yourself. And if these kids don't know the struggle that people had to go through in the 60s, 70s, and even the 80s and 90s, even 2000s, of having to march for what they wanted and fight for what they wanted. Some died for what they wanted. So these young men have to understand that because they're far removed from it. And we have to continue to guide them and encourage them. You are correct for standing up for yourself. That is the only way you can get results. You can't just sit back and take things that you don't like. You have to speak up for yourself. Nobody can speak for you better than you can speak up for yourself. That's the only advice we can give them right now, because there aren't any other opportunities. They have never mentioned at one time considering former football players. Anybody, not a single one.
And I don't think there's not one on this committee, if I'm not mistaken. Well, then you got Kelvin Dean, a current player. But if I go through that list, I'm looking at the names here. I don't see. Yeah.
There's no former players on it. No. I don't even have to look at it and tell you.
No. So we mentioned Vaughn. You probably was in the meeting. I mentioned that the last 3 ADs under Robinson since 2016 have all resigned before their contract ended. Milton, Dr. Eason, and Courtney. And now we have Tiffany Dunn Sykes. That's his track record with athletics. Not to mention all the other challenges that athletics had to deal with, from budgets to compliance and etc. But I do want to take this opportunity to make one particular point, because people have been kind of going back and forth in terms, first off, to what you spoke to about the Rattler speaking up for itself. That's what Rattler Nation is doing. That's what we're known for. But that's our culture, and we're going to continue to do it. And we don't really care about what other people think about it, to be frank. So those players are only be keeping true to the tradition. But in terms of this whole notion about what people have the right to do because they have a title, whether they can sabotage or make bad decisions. Well, I just want to point to a couple of things, and it won't take long. So for those of us who are or have been a part of the military, there's a chain of command, and they drill it into your head. There's rank in terms of enlisted, and there's rank in terms of officers. However, new officers come in all the time, and they have rank and they have titles that say they can come in and make changes. But you want to see an officer lose his command or get sent somewhere else? Let that officer come in there and make a decision, and he ain't ranking about that master sergeant or that senior chief, that senior enlisted. He got rank over him. He got the title. He has technically the right to make that decision. But those colonels will send him packing in a heartbeat. That's the reality of when you come into an area, you have to understand the environment, and you have to get buy-in from the folks who gonna make stuff happen, right? And in our case, it's the DSOs. I'll make another point to that same point. So CNN at one time made a decision recently, this corporate America now, that they were going to go in a different direction in terms of their news. And the new person decided that they didn't have to consult with on-air personalities, and they decided to get rid of Don Lemon. Well, it wasn't 2-3 weeks later that brand new president of the CNN was gone. I'm sharing these stories to tell folks, in the real world, the fact of the matter is, whether you have a title or not, when you are a part of an organization, you're part of a team. And if you come in and you make decisions in which nobody is supporting, your stay at that organization ain't gonna be long. And it's normal. And it ain't got nothing to do with your experience, your capability, your sexual orientation, none of that. It's poor leadership. It's the poor decision making for you to come into a situation, a championship situation in this situation, a championship situation, and just unilaterally decide that you're not going to even consider, you're not even going to interview any of those coaches who have head coaching experience, who have championship pedigree, who have helped build this thing, and that all your constituencies, not some of them, all your constituencies, all your DSOs, your players, is unanimous. You're going to go against all of that. Well, when you go against all of that, what happens? What we have now. There's no other way to play it out. Nobody care about your title. We came I went to, personally, out of my own pockets, went to Miami, went to Huntsville, pretty much all the road games. And I sacrificed, because typically the last 3 years prior to this season, I was on the weekends making money. But I told folks, hey, no, I'm not working this year. I'm following the routes. I feel good. In other words, I had a choice. I have a choice of what I want to support. And so, because I felt good about supporting You made me feel good about it. I decided to make that decision. You can't ask people to support you and then you make decisions that can't be supported and you don't communicate. The two don't go together. So I just wanted to point that out. Everybody's saying she had a right to make. Yeah, she technically have a right to make a decision, but she also have a right to get called out for for the decision she made, and perhaps lose her job.
Well, Kelvin, this Marcus. You go ahead, Marcus.
No, actually, I was going to ask. I want you to go ahead and follow up with Kelvin, but I had a question to ask you, kind of tied to your article today.
Sure, go for it.
What is this driving force behind making a change? I mean, now to me, honestly, and Kelvin knows because we've known each other and been on chat boards for 20 years and stuff. So I don't have an issue with doing your due diligence, looking all around and everything, but I'm trying to understand is there something that she's seen or something that she and President Robinson agree upon within the program to the point to where they believe that an external candidate with no ties to the university would be the best fit at this time? What is it?
I'm gonna give you an answer like A. Brian.
She hasn't said anything. She hasn't said anything. The most she said in her response is the most we've heard her say in the past week, other than that Zapruder video she did with Rory.
Rory, yeah.
God bless Rory, but she looked like she was a hostage. So I mean, outside of that, I mean, I'm glad Rory got the video, but damn, I mean, outside of that, that's all she's done. She hasn't said anything.
It's obvious that she has come in and wants this to be her department with her thumbprint on it. That's what the title of my article. That's why I wrote the article. Now I never came for an explanation because just like Kelvin and Brian have said, we don't know. She hasn't opened up to us enough about that. She's continued to set parameters that go outside. Her leading candidate was outside. Everything she's done with this rubric for the next coach dictates somebody from outside.
It does.
And so I don't know. Maybe she wants a coach that'll allow her to speak to the team first. I don't know. I mean, is that vague? I don't know. You just throw it up and figure out what the answer is. I don't know. I thought Coach Simmons was very respectful of her, especially in the public forum. He would always address her. He would always thank her. If that wasn't enough, I just don't know what else he could have done. I really don't. Maybe he could have let her call some plays. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, he's already got Eddie Jackson for that, so I mean, he can't be giving that over to people. But look, when we talk about, like we've said this before. Kelvin said this. What is the vision for the program? She's been here a year, and I said this before the last time 2 weeks ago. It'd be great to have the state of Rattler Athletic. Remember we talked about this 3 weeks ago, however long ago. Feels like several months ago, but really it was only 3 weeks ago. We talked about the state. It's been the longest 3 weeks, by the way. We talked about the state of Rattler Athletics. When is she going to come out and talk about her plan, her vision?
Brian, you know what? If I could, let me say something because I don't want this to slip my mind. And Kelvin his skin's gonna be crawling when I talk because he knows this for a fact. We played the Orange Blossom started off with the Orange Blossom Classic and made $450 out of that. Supposed to be after expenses, made $450.
She said she disputed that. Though. She disputed that.
Okay, I'm just saying that's what the contract says.
Right.
Then we played USF. That was about $450, right?
Yes.
Then you had a big homecoming. Then you had a 11,000 person jump in attendance in the Florida Classic. You had an additional sold out SWAC championship game at home, which you kept the money And then you had the Celebration Bowl where you make even more money, the appearance. With all of that, with 2 additional big money games and a boost in the Florida Classic, and we 800,000 in the hole, there's no opportunity to realistically make up that revenue. You have to be ahead of the game during football season. We don't charge for softball and baseball. Basketball games, you see what that attendance is like. Your opportunity for revenue, which is why people concentrate on football, is because that is your opportunity to make funding so that football doesn't drain from other sports, but actually can pour into other sports. If this department is indeed, I'm going to just say over $500,000 in deficit, you can't run the advertisement. You can't run the commercials. You can't get the sponsorships. You can't put banners up. You can't run ads on jumbotrons that are going to generate that revenue. That opportunity is gone. That's why football is the big dog. That is your opportunity to raise the funds for your athletic department. And if we've squandered that with 2 windfall games, those are bonuses. You don't budget them in. Those are bonuses. What that leads you to wonder, if we're talking about competency, that's the number one area of incompetency. As Kelvin Lawson said that, and I heard an inkling of that before, but as he detailed that, he's been the chair before. He understands how that budget works, and that budget has been balanced as of late. We've gone through those embarrassments of the deficits, but there is, I don't see a way without. Right. Deficit. Yeah, we don't call them deficits.
It ain't deficits. We just the true cost of having a D1 Division I athletic department is what it is, right? Because you don't include everything in the budget. You know, we talked about this previously, you know, and tried to get convinced, hey, put all your budget. But I will say this on the deficit, and I'm interested to see what the flyer says. But here's what I'm projecting right now. Don't know this. I'm projecting that the revenues you're talking about, like with the Celebration Bowl distribution and probably the SWAC championship game distribution, we haven't received yet. So on a current report, you have to show it as, you know, as right now you're in a deficit because you haven't received those fundings. Florida Classic money, we haven't received that money yet. So, and I hope
they put that in the budget. They put an estimate out of that. They put an estimate of that in the budget, though. There is an estimate of that. That's how they make up the budget. So for the Florida Classic, that'll be a little bump, but it won't be like $1 million bump. It may be 100,000.
Yeah. So, but I guess the point I'm trying to emphasize, when they talk budget, I want them to be transparent and give it a full picture, because you have what you planned. You had your planned budget. You have your actual budget right now. Where is that in terms of revenue and expenses? And then you have what will be what you haven't received yet, which will be your final numbers. So I hope that they're looking at it that way. They don't have assets.
But Kelvin, you should be able to just ask the commissioner pretty quick. Hey, you know, what is our take? What is our estimated take on the SWAC championship game? I mean, that should be pretty simple. And then what is our estimated take from the Celebration Bowl with the split? Just to get those two estimates would be
who's putting the reports together, though. That's the question. Who's putting those reports together, and are they including all of that information? You know, having been in the athletic department, the university has not been transparent all the times. I mean, when Dr. Easton was there, I mean, even with people who had access to the system, who were part of financials, you had to ask for reports to find out statuses of things, and you may get it and you may not. That's the ugly truth. All right, I'm done.
You are speaking the truth. You and I both have been in those meetings, and it's just frustrating because you are operating somewhat in the dark. But the trustees have demanded an action plan about what, Monday? It'll be
Yes.
interesting to see what that action plan is, because
One pager though. It's really like a summary.
yeah, well, it's got to be a summary, but it's got to be a lot of information in that one page, a summary. If indeed the revenues from the SWAC championship, you need to be talking to Dr. McClellan, saying, get some estimates. Say, this is what's estimated to come in and this is what it will cover. But, but Kelvin, I don't know if you remember this, but they approved I think it was in November. They approved, because of FAMU's going to the Celebration Bowl, or was it because of hosting the SWAC championship, almost $1 million additional for athletics to spend. The budget was expanded because of one of those. So what we're talking about in extra revenues, even that may be accounted for already. We don't know those, and this is just speculation from Kelvin and I's experience. But those are the factors that are going into finding out exactly where the athletic department is at this point. And I got to say this before I leave. That was never, ever a problem when Milton Overton was athletic director. Every Monday, he would come in with an 11x17 spreadsheet that he would pass out to all of us in athletic leadership. And we would see what was out, what was coming in, what we need to press the gas on. It was the most corporate environment in athletics I've ever seen, which is why I continue to talk about how great he was for athletics business and some of the things he instituted.
But look where he came from. Look where he this is what's powerful. Think about his journey to be an athletic director, right? Look at where he came from. And the tools that you mentioned, I bet you anything, are tools that were utilized at his previous stops. And he said, wow, this is effective. Keeps everybody on the same page. Let me bring this. Where are the man? Let me not get it.
I know that's why this is why I'm saying we've had so many different instances like that of best practices that just get lost in the shuffle, in the transition. Those best practices should remain. Everything about our athletic department should work in best practices whenever there's an opportunity. And understanding a balance sheet, which is a snapshot of your budget at that moment. There were times in there where he said, Suggs, you sold 500,000. We've only collected 250,000. You need to go contact this person, that person, because we need them to go ahead and send their money in. At least she knew how to operate. At least she would know at that moment she sold it, but it hasn't been. So maybe they need an invoice, or maybe they just need a call, and it keeps everybody on the same page. And so those are the kind of best practices that if FAMU were to continue to use best practices, as opposed to being this athletic director comes in this way, this athletic director comes in that way. And I think athletic directors should have freedom, but there should be some core things that are just standard. Keeping up with your budget every single Monday should be standard.
Hey, Vaughn, and one last thing I want to repeat. Milton Overton, resign. Courtney Gauthier, resign. Dr. John Eason, resign. All under Larry Robinson.
Well,
I'm just saying.
And so let's bring this forward. I know it sounds like your upcoming piece is going to talk about this. The elephant in the room, in my opinion, is Dr. Robinson. The original recipient of the belt, and sort of the way he has mismanaged this. Marcus talked about it earlier, in that how he and Chairwoman Harper thought that it was a great idea. Now, again, either this was strategic, or there's just all kinds of incompetence floating around. It's one of the two. Either you, I'm just thinking about this for a second. It's either strategic or just flat out incompetence to not advise AD Sykes that, hey, we'll approve this, but did you run this by anybody else? Did you talk to, the people who donate large funds of money that you just I just can't wrap my head around the fact that none of those people were involved and that those two individuals would sign off on it. That should, in my opinion, they need to be held accountable for that. And I don't know how this thing is going to end up. I mean, we may end up getting a great coach out of this, or as you said, we could have the complete 180. But it's still their hands in this mess need to be examined. It really do.
And speaking of Dr. Robinson, I could just being transparent. I am not the one to just go throwing darts on to be one-sided. Probably the first 40% of my article is talking about the positive things about Dr. Robinson. He's a scientist. He's Obama administration, Senate confirmed, director of part of NOAA. Helped FAMU get out of Sachs probation probably a couple of times, put that on solid ground. Gotta go.
Go ahead.
Anyway.
No. It wasn't you. I was implying all that's good, but 7 years in the job, it's time. It's time. That's what I'm saying. It's time. But go ahead.
And so I never want to discredit Dr. Robinson's positives. I think what we see as his negatives is his hands-off approach to his staffing. To allow them, and there are different management styles. His approach is a hands-off, hire the people and hands-off on what they do day to day, and they report to him, and then he evaluate that. But unfortunately, the athletic director's position is an instant feedback position. It's an absolutely instant feedback position because if you ask Rattler fans to name all the vice presidents or to name all the coaches, which one you think they're going to name more of?
Coaches?
They're going to name, they could probably go through the whole coaching staff. People are absolutely, FAMU is their heart. And there's no athletics without the education arm being what it is. That's what made FAMU, no doubt about it. It's the education arm. But that's true about Kofi. Absolutely. Kofi would be, oh my God.
He would have been in those public comments.
Yes, sir.
He would have been in the public comments. I know that.
But education arm has to work. But the people's passion is in athletics, particularly football. I love Camise Patterson. Y'all just had Coach P on. I was so glad when she came back. I was so glad when she took over because she embodies the FAMU spirit of being a coach. The young ladies like her.
Yep.
She's just always upbeat, and I just wish her nothing but success. And she's always greeted you nice when you're around her, and you want to work and you want to help people like that. And not being like she knows everything about coaches. We know she's a young coach. She's going to find her way. But she's never come to us like she knows everything. Never, ever. And so at that point, you help them along the way. And her demeanor is nice, and you continue to help them along their way. And before you know it, they're blossoming, and she's the coach that FAMU needs. I think she's the coach that FAMU softball needs right now. And a lot of that has to do with demeanor, which goes back to what we're not seeing in the athletic department. It's almost like what we're seeing is I know what's best for you. And how can that actually happen when somebody come in and say, I know what's best for you?
Hey Vaughn, did anybody just realize what our softball coach did during the show and what she's doing? She's doing what our athletic administration should be doing. She's fun.
She
and
comes
I'm gonna
she comes from the Wiggins tree.
Hey, I'm gonna juxtapose that with what our baseball coach said the week before. Anybody recall what he said the week before? Right? God bless him. But she's out here raising funds for a flipping concession stand. And God, I want her to have it all. Just to thumb the nose at those who ain't getting it done on her behalf. But our softball coach should not be having to do what she's doing. That should be coming. This is what we talk about vision and plan.
And we talking about a deficit. That's my point.
We talk about a deficit.
We ain't even including stuff that we supposed to be covering in the budget, because concessions should be in the budget.
So it leads me to think if this deficit has basically got our coaches out fundraising now. Hey, I can't get it for you, but if you can fundraise, we'll support it. Huh? What? What's happening here? And we'll never. Hey, maybe we'll get a statement of man. I'm sorry.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, has anybody mentioned that we were lost the Peak Sports contract because they felt we were in breach? That they literally yanked their equipment and everything, so that's why.
Oh,
nobody knew that.
News. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, yeah.
Drop it.
Let me get a breaking news. Let me get a breaking news banner thrown up here real quick.
Peak Sports Management pulled out during football season for breach of contract by FAMU. So you talk about a deficit. So now you got the people that you had supposing to help you raise money and they pulled out. That's that's another reason all of our media rights were turned over to Peak Sports.
Yes, they were.
Which meant who knows what happened to commercials that was supposed to run? Who knows what happens to all of that? Yeah, Peak Sports pulled out. Breach of contract.
Wow.
Mad as heck at FAMU Athletics.
Wow, we got the report. That's wow. That is oh man, how do I even?
No, it's just
yeah.
It's just a lost way. It's just a lost way.
Well, Vaughn, let me ask this, and I know you don't want to go into detail, and I want to put you in a vulnerable position. But was it something over time that bridged across different regimes, or is it something that was acute in terms of something that was so egregious within the last?
Let me just say Peak Sports Management, in my opinion, because when I was contracted to work that position, when I was contracted to work at Albany State, I kind of saw a similar situation that it was almost like Peak Sports Management was learning what they needed to do on the job. What they did was modeled themselves after what IMG used to do. We're gonna take all the rights to everything and sell it, and we're gonna make this value for you. Yeah, and we'll give this for you. Now, IMG is big dog. They do it different. They say, Florida State, we're gonna pay you $12 million and give us every commercial you got, and we'll make our money back. So that's how that works that's how it works in the big realm. Some years ago, we actually paid IMG and held a staffer on our position. And I don't think anybody else in the country was doing that. That was a very bad decision. But anyway, Pete came in, and I just did not see they were a big part of the decision for us not to have terrestrial radio. When I say that, we were on 96.1, the #1 station in Tallahassee since forever. FAMU football games were on there. A part of the time when Pete came in, I personally worked with the Cumulus people on several projects, and they were not happy with the way that they were approached by Peak at all. Zero. Just thought they were disrespectful. So access to the #1 station in the market for decades on was lost. Let me just give a little 101 about how media works with radio. You know why? Because I was the person when I was there who made what's called the clock. The clock is, okay, during a game on 96.1, which commercials go where? When we were partnering with 96.1, the #1 station in the market, our games would come on, and at every break, we had the ability to run any commercial that we had sold, and Angie Suggs kept them full. So we made the clock. Our deal with 96 was, for extra areas in there, you all could run commercials. But we were able to run every single commercial we sold. That's how we made money. That's how we were able to go up on the Florida Lottery's contract. That's how we were able to go up on Tri-Eagles contract. That's how we were able to go up on Regents Bank contract, because they would be able to run commercials on the #1 station in the market. That is desirable for an advertiser. And Angie Suggs, she would market it. She would package it, because we had the printed program. Okay, here's your combo package. You get an ad in the book. You get a logo on the website with a link, and you get commercials during the game. And that's how you sell, that you package things. But without terrestrial radio on the #1 station, it's not as attractive to advertisers. Class over.
Let me ask candidates. That's good stuff, definitely. Let's talk about, when you think about, I know your hope, Vaughn, is, Billy Roll. You've been very upfront about that. But when you look at these characteristics that she has, which, look, let's be honest, these are her wishes and guidelines. I don't know if you're going to find somebody that fits into every category, honestly, because her previous choice wouldn't have hit every mark in this wish list. So when you look at people who hit the mark here, who do you think? What names come to mind? And how does Billy roll? I know Billy Roll is a candidate and choice that you have been openly supported. How does he fit into these ideal football coach characteristics that she has?
Well, let's eliminate Roll, Cozy, and Smith, because they right there in front of her face. If she wanted them, they're right there ready to go. So in respect to those three gentlemen, why are we putting them in there when she's continuing to say and act? See, she's saying in her actions that she doesn't want them. By the way, I talked to Coach Smith yesterday, called Smitty Rock. Coach Ryan Smith, almost every game, we fist bump. And I'll tell him, before the game, it's almost like he sought me out. He would see me on the sideline he say, Vaughn, I say, Coach, I ain't worried about no damn defense today. I can tell you that. That was our greeting. And it was just the most genuine thing that we had. So to see him disgruntled, I called him to encourage him. And that's when he told me yesterday, Vaughn, I haven't signed anything. I don't know why those people put that out, whoever initially started it, whoever was that source. But he's hurt. He's very hurt with this whole situation. And that's what bothers me. That's when I think I need to lay back, times when I think I need to lay back in the cut, when somebody who has poured their heart into this program haven't got their bonuses, just being overlooked and discounted. It's discouraging, and it energizes me because I get pissed off. You can't get pretty much any better than our defense was last year. Let's be honest. They were number 2 for most of the year, number 1 for part of the year, and ended number 2. I mean, the goal is to be the best. And they were darn sure one of the best in the FCS. And so to see that disappointment in him, and to hear, the disappointment in the other coaches and the uncertainty of them to have to be the heads of their household, that's discouraging. It's discouraging, and this happens after they just won. I mean, it's not like they had a losing season, and they're sitting here stressed. You normally get fired when you do bad, not when you do good. That's just not how it works.
So I hear
I'm
you.
sorry. I'm sorry,
That's all
Brian.
right. No, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right. Do you how about you guys, Marcus, Kelvin? I mean, I got some names. I mean, I might be half joking, but I'm not, sadly. When I think of names, and I won't be surprised, because it was funny hearing her talk about sunshine laws, and she's got people that may not. What did she say? Something about people may not want to be a part of the job under the sunshine laws because they currently have jobs. I get that.
No, but that I'm glad Trustee Clyett said he doesn't agree with that, because the state of Florida passed a law under Governor Ron DeSantis to protect the names of people in high-profile position, which includes athletics, in situations like that. So the names do not have to be brought forward. That the sunshine law was amended under Governor Ron DeSantis. So that's why Trustee Clyett say I don't agree with that, because he knows the law protects people in high-profile positions, and athletic coaches are absolutely fit under that category.
So I think because I'm thinking outside, like you said, Vaughn, I think if she wanted somebody internally, she would have found a way to get somebody internally. And I think after all of this, I'm like, there are a lot of people that I don't want to give up on Colsey or the idea of Roll or the idea of Smith. But after again, I didn't see us going to a search firm. I didn't see us going to a search committee. I never thought that was a possibility. Never heard anybody even think about that as an option. And so now I have to begin to just like we knew this would go left, I got to start thinking that way. And names that come to mind, and y'all may laugh or you may say, I mean, I think about Fred McNair being an option, because he is out there now unemployed. He fits many of her categories, right? Although I said before, the one thing that worried me about him is I know he had a tough time dealing with the passion of Alcorn State folks, and I'm like, if he had a problem with them, I don't know what he's gonna do with us. I'm not gonna say, look, we know she likes celebrity with the ambassador thing. You got to throw Ed.
Don't
Reed
you dare!
I got to. I have to, Marcus.
No, you
I
don't.
have to throw.
No,
I got to throw Ed Reed's name
All
into the mix.
All right.
All right.
All right. I go now. We're gonna cut you short.
Hey, don't get too close to Dr. Robinson. Get a piece of that belt. Catch a stray.
Be mad all y'all want. Who you got, Marcus?
Hey.
Let me hear it, Kelvin.
I don't have any, because I have to do. I just saw this
Me?
article, so I have to pick up some names.
I'm-
I mean, we could throw
I
names.
mean, Yeah. We
I was
already threw some out, but Scotty threw one out that I had mentioned earlier in the
I thought he had
Barlow.
a job. Did he have a job? Barlow have a job? Where's he at?
He's SFL.
I mean, but isn't he a part of the new UFL staff? Isn't he on a team, coaching a team?
Yeah, he's still there.
As a head coach, why would he leave that head coaching in the professional ranks to come to FAMU? I can't picture that.
It's the SFL. I mean, but we don't.
Thing I was checking, and
Right?
I don't know. I just looked at actually Coach Prime's ex was it defensive coordinator or Dennis Thurman.
Flea?
I know he just went to Hawaii. He just left Colorado and went to Hawaii, but I was just checking to see where he was because I knew he left.
Going back to Barlow, the reason. Listen, if you like HBCU football, you like HBCU football, and I really think Reggie Barlow likes HBCU football. So that's a name I hadn't heard mentioned, but boy, he had a successful season last year. Very successful season last year. So, it's kind of hard.
I was just gonna say you got Frazier at Virginia, what state?
I was thinking about
Union.
Frazier. You know what? I was thinking about Frazier at is Frazier at Frazier's at Union, isn't he?
Yeah, one of them. Yeah, one of Virginia's, one of those CIAA schools.
That's Parker. Parker's at Union. Frazier's at State. Yeah.
And then but I'm still saying Smitty Rock, Billy Roll, Cozy. Man, and I ain't getting off it.
All right.
Until the wheels fall off.
I hope
watch Rattler Nation work. Watch Rattler Nation work. I got faith in Rattler Nation.
But all the problem is Rattler Nation ain't making the decision. It's
well. I will say this: a decision was made, right? Where that Fort Valley coach at? I got faith in Rattler Nation. I done seen it.
I just like I said, I just hit a disappointment in the former players. In it, so many have called me, and it's disappointing to have the same conversation over and over. Why are they messing up our program? Why are they messing up our program? And I can't do anything but agree with them. I understand their frustration. When you hit the right key, you built up to what you wanted. You built it to over 6 years. You built that program to be what you want it to be. And somebody unilaterally comes in and decides they're going to tear it down and rebuild it another way. It's absolutely, we haven't seen this but one time, and there was a show called The Last Dance was about this exact same thing. Jerry Reinsdorf and Jerry Krause did the same thing to the Chicago Bulls, and they haven't been back to the championship since. Jordan them made it look so easy. They were like, oh, we can just change some parts. We're going to break this team up, and we'll get back. It hadn't happened yet. It has not happened yet. But if you had kept that team together, who knows? Jordan could have got maybe a couple more championships. But we are the Last Dance Part 2 right now.
Hey, Keith said you can add the Cowboys into the mix too, but they did catch it. They catch a straight bullet. They caught a title though. They were ignoring Barry Switzer for that year. Troy knew the offense. Emmett knew the offense. The offense. Everybody knew what they were doing. They just did what Jimmy Johnson had taught them to do, and they rode that, off into the sunset. But nobody destroys their own potential for a dynasty. I go right back to North Carolina A&T, how Broadway handed it off to Washington, and they kept rolling. And they rode that horse until they changed conferences. They did.
They rode that horse until they changed conferences.
Made a big difference in that university, didn't it? Became the largest HBCU, made all kinds of money.
And now we look at them as a joke. We look at A&T football team as a joke.
Scotty, you them boys? You them boys, Scotty? I'm sorry.
I didn't bring them. I didn't bring them into this. That's Keith. Keith did that. That's not me.
Hey, don't blame me neither. I I didn't use them. I used the Bulls.
which was great, which is a great analogy, you know. My God. All right. What else have we left? Actually, so my understanding is there will be meetings going on Friday,
tomorrow, yeah,
and maybe even over the weekend. They say they do plan to meet Thursday and Friday and throughout the weekend. This will be fascinating. Where does the search?
Don't forget my video.
No, I didn't. I didn't. What else do we? What else do we have?
I just got a text from somebody who's watching the show.
Yes.
That said they personally talked to Reggie Barlow and he's interested in the job.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Scotty said the same thing. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't have access to the chat. In my bad.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So
I wasn't ignoring you, Scotty. Don't put me on blast tomorrow.
I think those meetings are public. Somebody sent me a link.
They're supposed to be. Yeah.
They are.
They have
public.
to be. They're supposed to be.
Yeah. Supposed to be. So the question is, are there? Which is surprising because I didn't hear about it today. And then Vaughn Gerald or the Post came out. You saw Gerald's article.
How are we supposed to find this? How are you supposed to find the Zoom link? Are they posted on the?
Who sent me the link? I'm trying to think. The Mike sent me. You know, Mike always gets all these things. Or where did I see? Somebody.
I got it secondhand from somebody, but
yesterday's Board of Trustees meeting was limited to 500 streams.
Yes.
For a living, when I'm not on here talking, I own a media company. I stream for.
That was done on purpose, Vaughn. That was done on purpose.
I'll never forget. During the pandemic, everything was virtual. So they normally have days at the Capitol. So the AKAs had day at the Capitol, right? And they thought they were only going to need 500. And so I go on early, 30 minutes before the event, and boom, 500's filled up, and people start saying we can't get in. It took me all of 3 minutes to log into Zoom and $12 to upgrade to 1,000 people. All of 3 minutes. It's preparation and being able to. And I actually asked it for an official explanation today of why it was 500. And the official explanation I got from FAMU, that they maintained the streaming protocol that they always use.
Which is probably to allow the very minimum that the state requires you to allow, probably.
But I mean, it just says that if you're trying to be open and you're locking people out of the process, is it really open? We're open to 500 people, the first 500 to get in.
Marcus, you sent us the link for tomorrow's Zoom thing.
Yeah, I got it from. Well,
you got sources. I got you. Everyone's got sources.
The pit.
Yeah,
but it's like, okay, I saw that got posted like this afternoon, like an hour after it started. Like, okay, how are we supposed to figure that out? And so it's like, okay. And even back when they were doing remember, I guess a year and a half ago, when they were doing the interviews for the AD position, and where was the link for that? You had to kind of like go all around the mulberry bush to find out where that was.
Yeah, well, tomorrow's meeting is scheduled for 5 p.m. just in case you guys wanted to know, and you can figure out if you find the link, you find the link. I ain't gonna put it out there.
Well, I'll just say this. I've been accused of a lot. The more I speak out, the more I get accused by detractors. And one detractor says, "Oh, you don't like FAMU, you just like that."
Are those people? Are those people rattlers, Vaughn?
Listen,
are they rattlers? Because if they not, don't apologize to anybody that don't bleed orange and green and that gave blood, sweat, and tears like you have. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
As I tap my lifetime membership button to the FAMU National Alumni Association.
Thank you.
Situations like this are making you rethink things, and so I think I'm going to make a donation to the School of Business and Industry, the school that reared me, with some resources that might have gone to athletics. So I'm still supporting FAMU, but it's just going in a different direction.
Yeah. And that meeting, they didn't want out publicly. I'm pretty sure. I just got a text from somebody that said they got that that meeting was sent to them 30 minutes beforehand. All right, so trust me, that they're public, anyway, man. Look, it is what it is. That thing needs to be, they put it out there, and then I'm gonna stick it in the corner somewhere and then hope that nobody finds it. Okay, that's not how this works.
But I just thought it was interesting how in the trustees meeting, I got to go back to the trustees meeting. I thought it was interesting how they never made it to her to have to face the affinity groups.
But that's not what they want, Vaughn. That's not what they want. See, I look, I'm gonna give credit to and I hope he doesn't mind. I'm gonna get, well, I'm not gonna put his name out there, but a good friend told me that there's a difference between what you and we want. We want that journalistic. We are starting for information from a journalistic perspective. We want to be able to provide the who, what, when, where, why, and how. Right? Those people on that call and those DSOs, they just want to be involved in the process. And that's what they want. They want to be involved. And she denied them the ability to be involved. So they're going to pull the belt out, smack her on the wrist, and that, if some blowback hits Dr. Robinson and Chairwoman Harper, so be it. But they want to be involved in the process. So she's giving them that. She's giving them involvement. And then they've already told her, well, at the end of the day, it's still your decision. Oh, hell, okay. Well, if that's the case, let me involve all y'all. Let me give y'all a mess. Hey, until you execute.
Don't fall for it.
Hey, well, look. Hey,
don't fall for it.
Kelvin, look.
Don't step in the poo poo. Don't step in the poo poo. I'm just saying, use some wisdom. Use some wisdom. You done got spanked one time already. Don't come back with that same mess.
Have you seen anything over the last 13 months?
I'm just saying, man, as a professional, as someone who learns quickly, hopefully, look at where you are versus just 4 weeks ago standing on that podium and holding that trophy, and look where you are now. Look what just happened with your first recommendation. Be hard-headed. What mama used to say? Hard head make a soft behind.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay.
All right. So one thing we didn't get to, man. We'll see how this thing. The one thing I did want to mention. Vaughn, we've had championship celebrations before, and what we saw. I know you emceed and so forth, and so I'm speaking, and you ain't speaking. It's me speaking. But to have something in the middle of the day,
I don't work at FAMU, so I can speak.
Okay, well, to have something in the middle of the day, last minute, not very well planned and thought out, man. The kids deserve much better than what they received, and so hopefully. Whether it's the Bethune game, the last basketball game of the season, be out day, spring game, hopefully we'll make that right, because that was downright embarrassing. And just to show you how difficult it was to support it, even as ragged as it was, I hadn't made up my mind whether I was going or not, but people kept calling me saying, "Hey, you need to be here." I had meetings set up and everything, so I knew that it started at 1 o'clock. So I got out of my meeting about 12:30 and checked my phone, and I get a text saying, "Hey, everybody done. I done already left. They started early, and it's over with already. So don't waste your time coming here." So I would have been there, even though I hadn't planned on being there, but I didn't have the opportunity because I had no idea that they moved it up, and I knew that in case of weather, it was going to be in Lawson. But I mean, the communication and planning for all that was piss poor. And I look back at the 2019. No, not 2000. Was that?
Yeah, it was
19.
19.
That was 2019. Yeah, what we did at Bragg Stadium. It was on a Thursday, but you know what? It was after 5 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
so people could get off work and they could be a part of it. I mean, the only reason you would choose the time they chose is because you made it convenient for you, not for the players, not for the fans. It wasn't a true celebration. It was easy for you, but I'm very disappointed in that.
I was asked to participate because they knew there was going to be the segment where Cozy would be interviewed and Jalen would be interviewed. So I was asked if I would, and like I said, those guys are like my little brothers. If it's for them, yeah. Now knowing the dynamics, didn't know a whole bunch about the dynamics, but I didn't need to. I was going to do whatever I could do to help support my brothers, my little brothers, and you guys have no idea how they look up to me. To like, not for anything except for the fact that they know I was a former player, so they look up to me like a big brother on that level. Not anything else. Half of them probably don't even know what I do, but it was just like I felt like I couldn't be adding on to the people that have let them down. So I had to be there, and I got a great opportunity to talk to a lot of them individually. They're hurting. Those kids are hurting. They're upset. Kendall Bowler, he's just not happy at all. And he should be preparing for, the great next step of his life.
Well, they're being lied to. They're being flat out lied to. They they're
feel it.
being asked their opinion. They're being asked their opinion, and then they're being lied to flat out. Now, maybe I don't know.
Not only you forgot one. What they kept telling me is they felt like they were being manipulated. That's a whole different level.
Wow.
Yeah, that I was in a group of about 5 of them, and they were basically saying they feel like they're pawns and being manipulated. And that's very, dude, it's just that's what keeps me up with the ability to type. Those young men should be having the best time of their life in college. That was the best time of my life, was those 4 years playing for FAMU. Those are the best years of my life. And they should be having the best years of their life, but they're out here stressing because adults are deceiving them.
Yep.
And manipulating them. That's what they're going through right now. After they did everything we asked them to do.
All right. Any other meat left on this bone for y'all? Again, what time your article again tomorrow, Vaughn? Coming out on HBCUGameDay.com, an op-ed, more so
about Dr. Robinson's athletic legacy being tied to Sykes' decision here.
Ooh. Boy, explosive.
It's about 1,100 words, because you can't tell the whole story in brief. You gotta put some meat on the bones. You gotta put some historical context to it, and then go into what's going on today.
Well, I remain even if my even in minuscule numbers, my
some paddling going on, some hazing.
You can read the article, hbcugameday.com. That's where you'll be able to read the article. That's where it'll be.
And in a lot of other local newspapers, because we are a McClatchy Group syndicated. So, like I said, our reach is actually more in our written articles than it is in our video content, exponentially more.
Again, I want to appreciate all of you media who the media who are able to, again, we have families, jobs that keep us occupied in the daytime, but you at HBCU Game Day, Gerald Thomas, Allison Posey, Scotty off script, I mean, you guys who are able to cover this while the rest of us are, while we can't, because these meetings and things are happening in the daytime and we can't, I just want to say to you and all of you who are watching, if you're not watching or maybe you watch later, thank you. Thank you for keeping us informed of what's going on. And I'm not worried about what others think. I know we got folks from other HBCUs in the chat room. I love all of y'all because, again, as part of the Black College Sports Network, we want full transparency and we want to talk about all HBCUs. And we can't have honest conversations about HBCUs if we're not willing to honestly talk about it when things are not going right. And we are in a situation where at this university, things aren't being done, in my opinion, right.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to lose it. I just tried to reach in the comments, and the first one was off script talking about me winning the Pulitzer for all the right. So I'll stop with the comments so I can stay focused. Hey man, it's what I gotta do. It's what I gotta do. It's what I gotta do. I'm the old guy. It was pen to paper or computer to the people. But that's the way that I can talk uninterrupted and take my time and make sure I get my thoughts.
Hey, and look, there are plenty of people.
It's important.
There are plenty of people in the space that are unapologetically defenders individually of her, VPIA. There are people who are pro AD should have the right to do X, Y, and Z. There are people who are pro, pro whatever, however you want to be a pro of. There are plenty of there's rooms for both sides on this. So when people come at me, I don't jump in the way. You can have your criticism, but I'm gonna be up front and let you know where my comments come from. And I think my guys will hear too. It comes from our love of Florida A&M University and our respect and love for the culture. And that thing that Dr. Humphreys said to me when I was in that mass of graduating in 1998 about not letting anyone do harm to Florida A&M University, I took that to heart. And 20 years, 25 years later, whatever it may be, if this is the hill I got to die on to stand up for FAMU, I will do that. And I'm sorry if it hurts and burns some people's feelings. And I won't apologize for being 100% orange and green and all about FAMU on this matter, because I maintain we should be great in so many ways and be doing so much more. And we got to deal with this. But you know what? If we got to do this to clear out the weeds, let's keep going. Let's keep going until we clean out the weeds, until it's all cleaned out. And then maybe we'll be able to grow a beautiful garden like it really should be grown.
Brian, one thing I'm not going to do, I'm not going to apologize for what I do.
I hear you.
Do you think Bernard Hendricks would apologize to anybody?
No.
Do you think Reverend Moses General Miles would apologize to anybody? Do you think Sybil Mobley would apologize to anybody for fighting for FAMU?
I hear you.
No. The answer is no. And while we may never attain their statuses, what they stood for is in us. And that's what we have to do with what we have at our disposal, which is our media.
Well said. All right, Vaughn. And anything else you want to add? I appreciate you coming in and hanging with us for so long tonight. It's always insightful. You've been a great voice on this, and look, we got so much that we're gonna find out over the next week.
Yeah.
Who knows what next week's show will entail?
Well, it's an honor to be asked to be on the show. Once again, I say it every time I'm on here. It's an honor to be a guest on your show. You guys are the front line. You might not know it, but you guys are the front line. So it's an honor to be on here, and you got to keep up the work because we have to collectively keep up the pressure.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, Vaughn. Everybody, you make sure to hit Vaughn up. And Vaughn, you're heavy on Facebook. I don't. You're not a Twitter person, are you? No, so you won't catch Vaughn on Twitter.
I'm on there. DJ H 2000. Yeah, DJ H 2000.
Okay, that's what I thought. But every time I see it, I go back to thinking about the DJing days, and I'm like, no, Vaughn's not doing anything with this.
I could do everything but TikToks.
There you go. Yeah, man. See?
Leave that to my daughter.
There you go. All right, so you guys make sure you hit Vaughn up. But more importantly, go read the article, hbcugameday.com. I have no problem. Again, the more there's plenty of room out here for Black media, and especially HBCU media. So I have no problem promoting and talking about.
And I promote you. I talk about you all. Sometimes we have discussions here in definitely on HBCU because you hear things here you don't hear anywhere else, which is why all of our platforms are important.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Vaughn.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you.
All right. Have a good evening.
I'll read the article tomorrow.
Well, we didn't get to mention anything about basketball, but I know you were at the game Saturday. What night was it when the girl? Well, first off, you were at both games, by the way. We shout out to Keith. Keith and I did the watch party on Saturday. That was fun. Thanks for any and everybody who joined us, or maybe you watched bits and pieces of it live. I definitely appreciate Keith for doing it with me. From a basketball perspective, it was and then I'm gonna tell you this: I'm mad at myself for buying the single day package of Rattlers Plus when I could have bought the monthly subscription for $3 more. That's an error on my part. I should have bought the doggone $9.99 Rattlers Plus instead of the $6.99 day. That's another topic for another day that I want to wait for Liv, because I know she's so anti the paywall and pay-per-view things. And I get it, because she's trying to cover and watch and talk about these games, and it's not easy when 10 schools out of the 12 have paywalls, and that means at any point in time 4 of the 5 games are going to be behind a paywall. That can be pretty expensive.
So the conference got to do better with that. They've got to get some kind of uniform platform in which the universities can use, because let's be honest, man, we ain't making no real money off them paywalls, man.
Well,
but if you can package it, yes, we do.
No,
we know yes, we do, because we know what our budgets look like. Ultimately, we know. So we need to.
We don't have a true accounting, because the schools are okay. FAMU's not going to tell us. They're not going to put it in the budget as an itemized line to say what they make off of Rattlers Plus, because then they start to create a market that others are going to use to competitively compare. So you're not going to get, I mean, the only comparison you can do is you can go to every school and say, hey, every school, like this school is $6.99 a day, $9.99 a month. This school is this school is that. But at the end of the day, you don't know. If you even if you just tried to estimate 100 people watching in that day, I mean, 100 people is $700, Kelvin. I mean, is that?
That's not significant. You can get a sponsorship, man. You dying on the hill, man. Don't die on the hill, dog.
Good. But see, I got to die on the hill because see, the problem is you don't have anybody that's going out to hustle for sponsorship.
Vaughn just told you.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is that if you look at a lot of the conferences who are making real money, they package streaming and all that into their larger package. I'm saying we have more bargaining power if we put our inventory together and market it that way over multiple markets. There's more to negotiate than what we can negotiate individually. And frankly, we don't have the expertise. Just being frank. The quality of those streams ain't even great. Sometimes you pay for some of those streams and you can't even see the daggone game. Some of them don't have sound. So I'm saying put a professional quality product from a conference standpoint.
But it's not the conference is the okay. So an entity that wants to come in and provide and give money to the conference for the rights to broadcast is what every conference wants. Right? I mean, why shouldn't the SWAC want that from somebody? Now, the SWAC does get something from ESPN and the Byron Allen Group. I know it's not significant. Oh, don't shoot me. I know it's not as much as y'all think we're worth, but it's something. So
it's actually better than most.
You can't say that too loudly because some.
I mean, facts are the facts.
I know that. I agree with you. I agree with you.
But those are the numbers.
I agree with you, but there's people out here in these Twitter spaces that are telling people that all these deals are fugazi, that they're horrible. There's we're worth more. Blah blah blah. Anyway, but I will say, unless there's a third party that's going to come in with some money, even if it's regional deals, who's going to come in with a third party entity and say, hey, SWAC, I want to give you X amount of dollars for your media rights deal to be able to broadcast the game.
There's a lot of ways to do that. It's not difficult. People are broadcasting games, streaming games all over the world.
Kelvin, whose job is it? Whose job is it? The schools or the conference? Because I don't believe it's the conference.
Should be a collaboration.
I'm saying it should be. It should be. But I'm saying that the SWAC has a established relationship and a bit more expertise on that whole process. So I think they need to be working with the President's Council to come up with a package that includes streaming. I think we can make more money. Each individual school can make more money. And that's not the takeaway from the ability to do sub games, right? Where if it's not a part of the SWAC deal that you can show other games. But I just think, we got to get our quality better if you're going to charge, man. You charging people $5-6, man, and it ain't so much FAMU. But man, you look at the quality of some of this stuff, man. It's garbage, and it's representing your brand, man. How you gonna have? Well, I almost really went there. I was saying, how you gonna be in LeBron stuff, man, and you tune in and watch the game on the road somewhere, you can't even hear the sound of the game, right? and it look like you got an old VCR tape. See what the MEAC did, and I take it a step further. So what the MEAC did was when they did a deal back in, what was that, 18, 17, and I'm just talking to the football side of it. When we first started streaming, and Vaughn was a big part of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
They actually when they signed that deal, they sent end zone cameras and equipment. They sent us equipment that we had to install before the season started. And that was part of the deal that they negotiated. So what I'm telling you that I've seen personally, we can get, because not all schools had the, not only did they not have the personnel, but a lot of didn't have it in their budget to be able to buy the equipment. You see our softball coaches now and our baseball coaches raising money for concessions, man. So I mean, stop thinking about what you want. Think about what the reality is, and a way of doing business in a way that gets you closer to where you need to be. I'm off my house.
Well, but hey, what's great about what you just said, those are the kind of things that's not happening from our athletic administration. So yes, she may have, apparently she's, I don't know what kind of money we're making from the paywall. I would say, make it known. Yeah, even what is a lot of money? I mean, a lot of money to a broke person could be $20. I mean, what is a lot of money?
Well, what they floating out is to be $800K in a hole. So 700 ain't gonna do a damn thing for 800K.
I can't wait to see I can't wait to see the budget meeting on Monday when they say, well, we've the streaming from Rattlers Plus is made up for the deficit. I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to hear about that. But anyway, we started on a rant and very quickly, I wanted to, before we wrap up the show, we got to give a big thumbs up and a congratulations to Coach Pressure, Coach Gordon, and the ladies for getting the first win of the SWAC season on Saturday against Southern. On Monday night, they've triple overtime, heartbreaking loss to Grambling. Break that down a little bit, Kelvin, because you were there. You lived through it. A great atmosphere, great game.
Yeah, it was a very good game. I love the energy and the effort with what the ladies played with. And I can tell you, man, it was 2 or 3 times I sit, mid-court, but kind of higher up in the arena with my crew. And you can hear Coach when she's talking to her players.
Oh, yes.
And it'd be hilarious sometimes, man, because she's very consistent but very transparent. I remember one time she called a timeout. She said, "What did I just tell y'all?" But she's getting the most that she can out of this team. We played our leading scorer, Grizzle, only played like 28 total minutes that game against Grambling, and because she was in foul trouble the whole time, she ended up fouling out with about 7 or 8 minutes left, actually, in the fourth quarter. And so I was shocked we was able to maintain and hold on. And then shortly after that, we lost Zubarat, I think.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, we lost her as soon as the first overtime started. So our top two of our top 3 scorers was out. And then we lost Delancey in the second overtime, early in the second overtime. And and I would tell you, Grambling's guard play is really good. They're by far the best guards. They can create their own shots, man. And they have like three ladies that can do that. So they're a really tough team to defend. But I thought Coach did an awesome job in coaching the team. She's kind of, I think, figured out her rotations and her skill sets. And more important, the ladies have bought in now to her system and being coached hard. They have bought in. They done got out of their feelings, man. We're gonna be competitive with everybody we play, as long as they maintain that effort. Now,
Hey, look,
I'm gonna just say right now, with the men's side. I'm there. I'm there for the players.
I was gonna say I looked at the minutes from the box score, bro. Just in case you guys didn't know, we only played 7 players. No, we played 8 players in that game. The women. And Haley Brennan didn't come in really. She played 7 minutes total. Everybody else played 32 minutes or more. No, well, Grizzle was crazy.
Grizzle did.
Yeah, she only played 29 minutes. She must have been in foul trouble all through.
She was in foul trouble.
She didn't foul out of the game. I don't know. I know you said she fouled out.
Yes, she did. No, she fouled out. She fouled out with like 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, so that explains it. So then Subarat's fouled. Both Subarat's girls fouled out. Well, no. Yvette fouled out, and Olivia Delancey fouled out.
Right.
But how about Nishani Gilbert? Now, if you do the math,
Gilbert,
in total, there were 40 plus 3 overtimes. That's 55 minutes. Nishani Gilbert played 52 minutes, scored 24 points, grabbed 7 boards, 7 of 7 at the free throw line. Periana Sylvester, and what I tell you guys last week, if Sylvester can stay on the floor, she played 49 minutes, scored 18 points. I mean, this team, they're
growing.
They are growing. They are gutsy, man. I don't know. 7 girls. Look, last year, 7 girls would have melted and died last year on the floor. We would have seen bodies on the floor being carried on. That's how last year. I don't know if it was the conditioning, the coaching, whatever you want to say it was last year. They didn't survive that kind of lack of depth last year. This team, to be able to get what she got out of this team, and only really playing. Let's be honest. She played 7 girls. I mean, the 8th one got in there because she had to put her on the floor.
Yeah.
But really, she played 7. She played 7 girls, and Grambling just rolling out.
Yeah. 11, 12. They played about everybody.
They played about everybody. There's at least about 12 girls, and 9 girls played over. Well, 1 girl played 10 minutes, but in terms of over 20 minutes, 9 girls, 8 or 9 girls played over 20 minutes, and nobody played more than 40. So, here's that's a game that we kind of gave up a lead. What do we have?
About 17 at
17 point.
Yeah,
lead
17-point lead. Yeah.
Yeah, and they kind of tracked us down there in the 3rd and 4th quarter, but just to go to triple overtime, I mean, against a good Grambling team, man, they beat Bethune the Saturday before, and so. Now they go out to UAPB, and that should be a good game. But I think I think that'll be interesting to see how we deal with UAPB. A bigger team, faster team. I think it'll be a gut check time for those ladies. Yeah, we won't talk about the men. The men we just is what it is. All right. So this weekend,
I think they got 2 guys hurt though. I will say that.
Yeah.
Love Bettis and Lamar. Yeah.
And Love Bettis. Those are 2 significant scorers that are hurt. I hope they come back, because otherwise this team
that's our only punches. Yeah, that's our only puncher's chance. You're right.
All right. Final thoughts for tonight, Marcus. Final thoughts as we close out the show.
I don't know. The rubber is hitting the road for the next week or so with this coaching search. We got, pitchforks out, signing day looming. Our coaching staff and support staff disseminating,
leaving.
Something's gonna have to happen quick.
Yeah.
Or we're not even giving our team a fair opportunity to defend his championship. But on spring sports, just looking forward to that. Like you just elaborate on women's basketball, looking forward to their continued upward trajectory. Same with softball, baseball, and everybody else coming through.
You're the one who's guilty. Lawmakers, the politicians, the Colombian
That's the long
drug lords,
version. You got to skip.
all you who lobby against making drugs legal, just like you did with alcohol during the Prohibition. You're the one who's
skip.
guilty.
It's the 10-second part.
Look at it.
Yeah, right about
Reem
here.
Akbar. That's right, the educated brother from the bank. He's the real head of the CMB, the brains behind the whole thing. I told you, this thing is bigger than Nino Brown, and I got a list of proof. If I'm going down, I'm taking a whole lot of people with me.
Order in the court. Order in the court.
Excuse my lawyer, please.
That's the trustees meeting.
Steve Campbell, come on now, please. More than one person can come up with a thought.
You know how it is. Sometimes folks want to claim everything. Yeah. Let me Brian, I don't know what happened to you. You're on mute, man.
Yeah, I know.
There you go.
Know.
Okay. No, the only thing I got to add is, man, I'm happy with the track team. They had some first place finishes in their indoor track or meet. So coach said he had some dogs and they showed up. And so I'm really interested to see, how they perform going into the SWAC championship, indoor championship. But they looking real good. And then in terms, like everybody else, I'm saying Rally Nation, be Rally Nation, be Rally Nation. Don't give up and concede that, things are inevitable. We will. A few things we can say for a fact. We're going to have a football season. We're going to be defending champions.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be able to defend that. All we need is for, next week, no later next week, for things to go a certain way. Whether it's internal or external, it needs to go a certain way. There's some external candidates that maybe could come in and calm the seas too. But what I would say to Rally Nation, keep doing what you're doing and have faith. I believe in y'all. Y'all make a difference. Y'all make a difference. We brag different. Remember that. We brag different. And we'll see where we are next Wednesday. That's all I'm gonna say.
You had another point you wanted to get in there, Marcus?
Oh no, but Kelvin mentioned about season. We got another data point. Alabama A&M announced their schedule, so we know when they're playing us. So we got 9 games? 9 games that we know dates on.
Hold on, hell, I'll pull up the slide. We are getting closer.
I tweaked it a little bit.
You did? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna just move the things around. And also, we did get a couple more commits in softball. Well, I did talk with Coach Patterson. Did mention that, and baseball too. I haven't added that to the list yet.
Yeah, no. I'm just gonna fast forward to the schedule.
For Keith, I think last I heard, well, this is before all the controversy and everything with Coach Simmons leaving, but I think VP Sykes said it's going to come out signing day. I mean, we might be able to piece it together by then because if all the other schools put out their schedules, we'll figure it out. So we got 9 games so far. We just got to figure out Jackson State,
which we think we know,
Valley, and PV.
Yeah.
All right, so there's the schedule as we project it right now. Obviously, the first 3 dates are sort of well established and known. Norfolk State at home against South Carolina State, traveling down to University of Miami. Right now, that is an empty date the following week of September 14th. It would be a great time for a bye week. I don't think you want to
It would
Yeah.
be.
schedule a
It
game
would
there.
You don't want to
I-
run off that many straight.
Right. If I were coaching, I'd want a break right there. Then you see we travel to Troy, Alabama, and then based on the Alabama A&M schedule that came out yesterday, they'll be coming here to Tallahassee on the 28th. So there's our second home game. We know we are traveling to Montgomery, Alabama for Alabama State's homecoming. We are their homecoming opponent on October 5th.
I'm projecting. I am projecting. I'm guessing at JSU on the 19th.
Mm-hmm.
16th,
Okay.
whatever that 19th.
That's
yeah.
the rumor. I've heard that. I know Timona was in the chat room earlier. She loves thee. Appreciate your contribution. I don't know if she survived. There was a lot going on in the chat room, so I don't know if she survived it. But yeah, even EA says that he's been hearing October 19th in Jackson. And that's why I have the date set up right there as two options, where Jackson State and Prairie View. So if you assume correct, and so Steve, I don't know who's they. EA says they confirmed it. I don't know who is they. Is they Jackson State? Yeah, I'm seeing multiple people say it's 10-19. So we'll update this, Marcus. So that means that we could say that leaves Valley and Prairie View, and we know we're hosting Valley, traveling to Prairie View.
Yeah.
So that leaves the 12th as an open possibility, or
the 9th.
At the end. Yeah. Now the reason we know about Southern is because Coach Simmons admitted that in the 220 Club. He stated at the 220 Club that before our homecoming game against Texas Southern, we play Southern University at home.
Yeah, he spilled the beans.
He spilled the beans on that one. So we were able to put that together. So then it comes down to, let's see, that leaves 1, 2, 3 possible dates. So, we've got Valley, Prairie View, and obviously we're at the, it depends on what Valley. I'm hearing we may be Valley's homecoming, not Valley. We may be Prairie View's homecoming opponent. That's what I'm hearing. Might be.
So that means it'll probably be in October. I don't know. When's their homecoming?
Yeah, we ain't got but one date in October left.
Yeah. That'll be the 12th. So that means Valley would be coming to us. So we'd have 3 straight home games if they came to us on the 9th.
Yeah, that's where we got to see what the schedule. See, once you start seeing other people's schedules, you start weeding out possibilities. So
we eliminated Valley on the 19th because we know they're playing Bethune-Cookman on the 19th.
Right, exactly. Bethune dropped their schedule. So, but with Bethune and Alabama A&M. Now, what's interesting, and talking to the SWAC office, the SWAC is not committed to releasing the full schedule until all the 12 schools have their schedules done. So even though you see individually schools dropping news and information like what Bethune did and what Alabama A&M has done, and even Alabama State making their homecoming. I don't think Alabama State has released their whole schedule, but they let their fan base know about homecoming, just like we did. Bits and pieces are starting to come out, and you're starting to be able to piece it together. I just wish we would go ahead and at least, I don't know. I don't know why we got to move so slow, or I don't know, the process of signing contracts. I see other conferences dropping their whole schedules, but whatever, But yeah, so folks, that's what we know so far. Yep. Oh, Southern Willie Bolden says Southern released their schedule today. So we might be able to add. We might be able to deduce.
No, we already knew they. We already knew they date. Remember,
based on conflicts, we might be able to figure out.
No, based on conflicts, though, Kelvin. I don't think they had released. We knew about the Southern homecoming from Coach Simmons.
The week before our homecoming, but we have to see if they have anything that conflicts. But they might be in the. Well, yeah, they'll be playing divisional. So depending on when they play PV, that might eliminate some dates for us.
Hold on. I'll pull it up right now. I'm looking at the Southern.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. They play PV early, September 21st. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I pulled up the web. So October 26th, we already called that. November. There's nothing that we really can deduce.
No,
there's nothing that we can pull from out of Southern schedule that we don't already know. But it is interesting though, watching the schedules, like, teams like we're playing 2 FCS opponents and 2 FBS opponents among the 4 non-conference games. It's kind of interesting watching what other teams do in relation to their schedule.
So it looks like Southern must be playing a non-conference game with a conference member, because I only see 3 out of conference teams. It looks like Nicholls State, Savannah State.
They did it last year.
Yeah, and I can't tell who that M is. I don't know if that's
McNeese.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
probably
Jackson
State. Jackson State is the non-conference conference game. Remember, that was supposed to be the part of the 2-year deal that was going to be originally back in
Birmingham.
Yeah, and then that whole thing got foobarred. So I think this year they're traveling to Jackson State on September 14th. That's a non-conference conference game. And who was it so right now we've got potentially 5 home games, but who was it who told me? Somebody told me that there might be a home game moved out of Tallahassee. You don't think so?
It's been discussed, but Jacksonville is kind of being discussed, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know how serious it is. I don't know how serious it is right now at this point.
Yeah, I got a feeling she wants to wait for signing day. It'll be too late by then. I got a feeling we will be able to fill in a projected schedule before signing day. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, especially if the other schools drop theirs, and we can just fill it. I mean, it takes the
guesswork out of it.
Yeah. Well, all the things in the last month or so have kind of taken a little bit of momentum out of everything that could have been built up.
Well, all right. I just thought I'm glad you brought that up, Marcus. Maybe to give people a little bit of something to think about relates to FAMU football for the 24 season. Every little bit helps. All right. Well, I've said enough today. You guys have done a great job. I want to thank everybody in the chats on Facebook and on YouTube.
You are the real MVP.
And appreciate those who have watched us on Instagram and those who have watched us on Twitter. We appreciate your feedback and input. If you have any comments, suggestions, thoughts, you can always send an email to O&G StrikeZone at gmail.com. Again, we will we might drop that link if we don't see that somebody's figured out the YouTube link, or not the YouTube, but the Zoom link. We will
drop it, man. Drop it. Give it to the people. That's what they want. Drop
Give it to the. All right. I may do that. It is
Rattler Nation, engage.
We will do that. We'll drop the link a little bit. We'll drop it in the morning. I'm not gonna hang up too late trying to put that out. I'll drop it in the morning. But okay, let's again, thank you. Hit the thumbs up button or the like button wherever you are. Do us a favor, please make sure you're following us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and on X specifically. And please go look for the BCSN Pod Zone. For those of you who like the Pod Zone or like podcast, you can catch us on Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any and everywhere you listen to podcasts. And we wish our administration the best in this search. We wish the search committee.
We wish them Smitty Rock. We wish them Billy Rowe. We wish them James Colson. That's what we wish them.
That's what we
Amen.
wish them. Amen. All right. Let's see. Any final thoughts? Appreciate you, Dr. Lori, Dr. Strachan, for your help in the chats, and I know it was a little testy at times, but appreciate your good works. Let people talk. Hopefully, it didn't get too ridiculous, because we want to invite the HBCU community in to. I'm sorry, Dr. Lori. All right. Well, all praise to Dr. Lori. Did you get all the props? Thank you. Love y'all, man. Appreciate everybody. Thank you, family. Thank you for all of your thoughts and your comments, your feedback, your input. That's going to do it for tonight's show. Thanks again to Coach Camise Patterson for joining us. Make sure you donate to the softball program. Go check out the link on Twitter from our page. You still got about 11 days. We're looking to try to raise another $3,000 for our softball program. And also, thank you to Vaughn Wilson for joining us as well. HBCU Game Day. Make sure to check out his article tomorrow morning when you wake up, and we'll read all about it. So, for Marcus and Kelvin, I'm Brian. Thank you for watching us tonight, everybody. Good night. God bless. Fangs up and strike. Strike. And strike again. Peace out.